All right. Hi, guys. And welcome to this live stream. We thought, might as well just do an election live stream while we're at it. So we've got a couple of people to discuss this election cycle with. We've obviously got ultimate Trump Bhakt from India, Abhijit Iyer-Mitra. And we've got our resident American as well from Mind Makers, Aadit Kapadia. Guys, both of you, welcome to the show and thanks for doing this.
Thank you, Sham. Thank you,
Thanks,
Abhijit.
Sham, I've just got 1 minute. There's somebody at the door about to come.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Come back and then explain this.
हाँ यार, मुझे रेजिडेंट अमेरिकन मत बोलो श्याम. मैं वोट तो इंडिया में डालता हूँ. मैं यहाँ बैठ के सिर्फ एनालाइज करता हूँ. I specifically said that in Hindi to get my point.
To get your point across. That's fair.
But what a night! What a night!
It is crazy, right? It is a little bit crazy because I remember reading all of those forecasts and all of those things that were basically saying it's 90% done. It's 90% already Biden. It's done, and it might still end up being Biden. Let's be honest. It might still end up being Biden. It's still pretty tough for Trump to win, but the way the race is shaped up, I don't know how these bloody model makers and all these forecasters stay in business, but they manage it somehow.
So I'll tell you, the model makers stay in business because उनको यही model पे ढेर सारा पैसा बनाना है, right? So they apply their failed model and they say that they calculated based on vote share of 2016. But one thing they missed out, and I have said this multiple times on podcasts as well, the silent Trump voter. Right? The silent Trump voter that was not saying what they were going to do in polls and stuff. This just before I came to the podcast, I put up two things on Twitter. One was this is probably going to be the closest, if not the wildest elections after 2000, the Bush versus Gore election. And second, this election is not a wave election. Because in India, we are used to seeing the seats and correlating that to like some sort of a wave. A lot of people on Twitter, especially some Indian Americans and a lot of people from India have written, "Arey, this is going to be a wave election." I'm like, no, even if this is 300 to 240, this is not a wave election, right? This is just going to be a close election to the point where 1% is going to be the difference between that. What is amazing is the king of 1%, which is the state of Florida, is giving a clear mandate to Trump. And I think on CNN said, in terms of Florida, this is a landslide for Trump.
Yeah. And you know, another thing that's funny, Aadit, that looking at the election results, if you go and just even search US election results in like Google or something, if you go to New York Times and all of these places, so Virginia right now is 42.4% of the votes are with Trump, and he's leading the vote count by like 150,000 votes. But they've already given Virginia to Biden. They've already declared two or 3 hours ago. They already declared Virginia for Biden. Now, it might go to Biden. It might not go to Biden. It might end up going to Trump. It might end up going to Biden. But it's just very interesting how confident all of these news organizations and all of these model makers are. Yeah.
There's a caveat there. With all my criticism of CNN, I still think CNN does, in all the mainstream media, probably the most reasonable election coverage because of two guys, Wolf Blitzer and John King, because they go by numbers and they don't go by ideologies that day, right? And they have still not called Virginia. CNN will still put Virginia as Trump leading. The only organization to call Virginia has been AP. And a lot of these Google and your MSNBCs and stuff, they have mimicked what AP has said. But CNN is still saying Virginia is too close to call.
Interesting. You know what? One of the things that's been funny about this election, Abhijit, is we'll come to obviously what's going on in a second. But one of the things that I wanted to ask you is, have you been noticing how in all the major cities, whether it's Washington, D.C., whether it's like California and some of the big cities, how in all of the big shopping centers, all the big shops, they've been boarded up. And what's funny is that they've not been boarded up because all the Trump fans in Beverly Hills are going to get angry and then they're going to riot. It's very funny that all of these shops in these big liberal bastions have been boarded up.
It's exactly that. And see, this is why I knew that, Black Lives Matter, and Black Lives Matter, as we realized, was funded by the Chinese somewhat. Uh, and I've told you this before, that our greatest fortune is for India is that Xi Jinping is a blithering idiot. Buddhu hai. So he put his trust and money on the wrong people. If you think that in urban centers, which are the center of anti-Trumpism,
Right.
you go and burn down the shops of people who are supporting you,
Right.
that they won't turn against you.
Yep.
And so, Black Lives Matter, I'm sure there's going to be a conspiracy theory that CNN and co are going to start shortly, that Black Lives Matter was a Trump Trojan horse.
Right.
I think Black Lives Matter has done more to send votes over.
Right.
Because you look at the neighborhoods they hit. Okay, look at the shops. The owners might have been white, but most of the staff working there would have been Hispanic or Latino or Black, who did not, who were much more sort of vulnerable financially, who needed the weekly wages or whatever, which they stopped getting. You're creating unnecessary anger. I don't know which idiot in which universe thought that burning up cities, which are the center of democratic support, is going to help Democrats.
Right.
And not just cities, suburbs. The
suburbs, especially the suburbs, where the rich people live. So it's one of those things. I mean, you look at DC, if you do an ethnographic map of DC, you'll find it's like a target, Target, but we call it target, don't we?
Yeah.
So it's like a target symbol. The center is, the bullseye is white. Then you have a thick black belt around it. And then, in all those fancy suburbs in Maryland and Virginia, you have all the rich white people again.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where they miscalculated badly.
Right.
And I personally think they're not coming back. But just to add one point, if you look at the last 70, 80 years, no US president failed at re-election unless they were confronted by a giant. So Herbert Hoover lost his re-election bid because, one was because of the Great Depression, but then he was up against FDR. Sorry, for our viewers, that's Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who's the only president on record to win 3, maybe even 4 terms, I forget now, but at least 3 terms.
The president because of which the Republicans brought the 2-term limit, because they were
exactly the 2-term limit because of FDR. Then you have Jimmy Carter, who was up against Reagan, who's again another legend. And finally, you have George Bush Sr. against Bill Clinton. Whether you like him or not, he is a legend. Okay, one of the greatest presidents, whatever his legacy. So, how, in what universe of methodology, of statistics, of whatever, were these dopeheads thinking that Joe Biden was in the same league as Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan, or FDR? I mean, you need, seriously, I mean, forget crack cocaine, man. This had to be a cocktail of heroin and crystal meth and acid all combined into one, that these guys were snorting, injecting, whatever.
It was a choice between a corpse that you can kind of control and a nearly corpse that you can't control in Bernie. So they went with the corpse that they can control.
No, and here is the thing about Trump. Two points are very crucial for Trump. A, he knows how to interact with his audience in these massive rallies, right?
Yeah.
And he knows how to play sort of the TV and, the whole media, social media sort of escape. And a lot of times the Democrats fell for it hook, line, sinker.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see that, right? But here is the thing, and I just want to say a couple of numbers for our viewers, right?
Yeah.
Right now, a lot of channels are showing 105 for Trump and 118 for Biden, but that's because they have not called Texas and Florida. And I can assure you, both of them are going to go for Trump.
Yeah.
Texas and Florida are 38 and 29. So if I do my horrible math in my head, 67. Oh, I got it right. But so that's 67 more. And if you add Ohio to that, it's looking like a very sort of, let's put it this way, President Trump is on a happier place than Vice President Biden would be as the polls stand right now.
Hmm.
And that would be my interim thing. Of course, it's not over yet. Biden could still win Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and then Arizona and claim the presidency. But it's not a blowout, not even close to a blowout.
Right. So I have a follow-up question for you, Adit. So before I ask that, though, I'm gonna share something really quickly on the screen, because I was about to, because the polls were so, the polls were so in favor of Biden. They were like, it's done for Biden. Get ready. I was already ready to rebrand the show, so I was going to rebrand the show this way. I was ready to rebrand the show and go Kamla Pasand. I was ready to switch allegiances, but things are not that way yet. So we'll see how we end up. But one of the things that I keep hearing, Adit, about this entire situation is that it's all dependent on Pennsylvania. It's all dependent on Pennsylvania. Wherever Pennsylvania goes, that way the election goes. Is that fair, or is that too simplistic of a way of looking at it?
So I'll give you a 2-point response to that. The Republicans cannot win without Ohio. And if the Democrats want to lose Ohio and Michigan, they cannot win without Pennsylvania.
Well, yeah, Ohio and Michigan are not looking good for Democrats.
Right. Yeah. So because Florida is the key, Florida is gone. Florida, Trump has a 3.5% lead. North Carolina, he has a solid 1% lead. And right now, I'm looking at the CNN stats. Pennsylvania, Trump has a 15% lead. 15%
lead.
Yes. Now I have to put a caveat that the votes from Philadelphia, not all the votes are in, but still 45% of the votes are in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nate Silver, the great Nate Silver, who got 2 elections wrong in a row again.
The ex-great Nate Silver.
That is why I did
he lost his Midas touch. He should have been Nate Gold, then he became Nate Silver. Next election, Nate Bronze.
You should just change his name to Nate Bronze at this point.
You should just change your name to Nate Bronze.
Or resign,
Tamba or something like that.
And coming back to Michigan, Trump is up by 9 points in Michigan.
Yeah. Oh, Michigan. I was always sure Michigan's not going to go Democrat. Michigan's. I know what's happened with Michigan over the summer.
There's a trend out here, which is that votes these leads, they're growing bigger and bigger. Unlike the early Biden leads we saw, which Trump was whittling away.
Yeah.
Here, the leads are growing bigger. And, even in places like Pennsylvania, the counties that first report are the urban counties.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a very high probability that as we go on, the Trump leads are just going to keep increasing till, of course, the West Coast comes in. That will sort of equalize it again, because we know there's no chance for Trump in Washington, Oregon,
California,
and
Washington. Yeah, all those three, man. Yeah.
Right. And unfortunately, the problem with the Californian schmucks is they've also got holiday homes in Nevada and Colorado, so they infect those as well.
Yeah.
And the problem with Denver is, all those Aspen Glitterati or people like that, they just come and ruin everything out there.
Yeah.
But it hasn't happened. So that mobilization that Trump was hoping for, the shy voter, the only polling agency that gave that shy voter a weightage was Trafalgar.
Yeah.
And Trafalgar is being proven right.
Yeah. Go ahead, Aadit.
No. And one more point to add to what Abhijit was saying, and it's a very crucial point, is because a lot of the votes counted in the first are early votes, which have tended to favor the Democrats. And then the election day votes results come in. Of course, it varies from county to county, but that's a general trend. Yeah. Then another thing I noticed on CNN, I was watching it, whenever Trump is leading, it's a lot of fun to watch CNN. So then a lot of they're like, you have to understand, in Florida, Trump managed to rally or retain his base, rally his voter. Agreed, that's true, but that is a bullshit argument. I'll tell you why. Last time in Florida, Trump won 4.6 million votes. Okay. I'm going to ask you guys, just take a guess. Take a guess right now. I just saw the number. That's why I'm not some oracle, guys.
From how many votes Biden got?
No. Trump got 4.6 million votes in Florida 2016. Do you think he retained that number because that's what the Democrats are saying? Or do you think he got more than that?
This year, right?
Yeah, this time.
I'd say he got more.
Yeah, he got 5.7 million votes.
Oh.
That's 1.1 million votes more than he got last time, or 5.65 million votes. My point is, if you are retaining your base, you don't get 120% more than what you got last time.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
And it's so funny. It's so funny because, like, I've been reading some tweets about how people are talking about the Democrat strategy in Florida trying to get the Latino vote, and they were like, somebody was showing like this private message that they got from some leader of like a Cuban community in Florida, and they were talking like, you have these Democratic whatever campaigners here that are part of some Antifa group that are standing around with a Che Guevara flag, and they're flying this Che Guevara flag, and then coming to us and asking for votes. Like, do they not know that we don't like that guy? Unlike the freaking left wingers here in America, Cubans that are here in Florida do not like Che Guevara. They hate Che Guevara. That's the whole reason that they're here in America in the first place.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's an amazing strategy. One more thing I wanted to share with you, Abhijit. Check this out. So this is a tweet from Brit Hume, and this is the state of the Chinese yuan as soon as the Trump taking the lead came out. Look at the state of the Chinese yuan.
I can't see it. Yeah.
Oh, can you not see it?
No,
Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah.
It is tanking. It is tanking. As soon as Trump took the lead, that's the point where Trump takes the lead, and then it just starts to tank. So, I mean, that should tell the voters a lot of stuff too. I mean, it's too late for that, but that should tell the voters a lot of stuff too.
But here's the
all the markets have flipped. Every single market indicator. Look, I knew what had happened because if you remember yesterday, the markets, yesterday, Indian Standard Time yesterday, the markets had started going up. And the markets seem to react much more positively to Trump than the media does. The moment the markets go up, you know there's something in the air. So I was quite confident anyway. I've always been confident about Trump winning.
What made you confident in this particular case? Was it just a level of belief in Trump or something else?
No, it was never this belief in Trump. See, it's always, for me, it's always been based on what happened in 2016. Because, in 2016, I was there in Seattle. I'd gone to the Boeing factory at Everett, which is now being shut down and shifted to North Carolina because they can't deal with the unionized labor out there. Nice. Congratulations to you, unionized labor and Democrats. Yeah. And what had happened was I was meant to speak at Georgetown 2 days later on the eve of the election. It was on the 8th, I think, 8th or 9th of November last year, 2016. Right. And I rented a car, an SUV, and drove all the way because I wanted to see what the hell was happening. Right. And, it depended entirely on how you approached it. So, for example, because I'm a foreigner, they can clearly tell by my accent. It wasn't, they didn't get violent, but in Seattle area generally and in Washington, they were getting quite antsy about Trump every time you brought him up. Yeah. And as an outsider asking people, the moment you cross over the Washington state border, outsider asking about Trump, they're like, yeah, he's decent. We like him, la-di-da-di-da. So all this hatred of Trump, I didn't see it all the way up to Virginia when you finally come into Washington, D.C. Yeah. So there was this whole sequence of things because what was being reported, I wasn't seeing. So I'm pretty much extrapolating my 2016 experience to 2020. Right. And what I'm seeing is that the fundamental flaw in 2016 was you never accounted for the fact that you are scaring voters, causing serious job consequences for them if you vote Trump, if you say Trump, and that isn't going to make them vote for Trump because thank God it's a secret ballot. Yeah. In secret, they will gain their revenge against you. Yeah. Okay.
So more.
They never fix their polling methodology. Sorry.
Yeah. No. what I was actually adding to what you were saying, Abhijit, about the secret vote, because Michael Moore, the very left of center Democratic film producer director, said in 2016 that in the Rust Belt of Michigan, it was called the Steel Belt, but it's called the Rust Belt because of the factories rotting and everything. But Michigan, right, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, he's been traveling and he's been seeing people, who want to do that. And he's like, they don't have the power, but they have this one vote, which is their FU to the system. Yeah. That's the exact words he used. Now, one thing I want to correct the perception, because a lot of people said that Trump won a few states in 2016 because the third-party candidates played spoiler, right? Yeah. But today's results are very interesting. If you look at Florida, Trump is up by about more than 302,000 votes or something. And the third-party candidates have only gotten like about combined less than 80,000 or 90,000 votes.
Right.
Yeah. So even in swing states, I don't think the third party it is actually a positive vote for Trump in a lot of states. Right. And also, if it's not a disinterest in Trump, it is also a disinterest in Biden. And the coalition he made with the far left. See, the far, this is again an assertion that the far left, your Antifas or your socialist ideas do not work in mainstream America. And they cannot even say that most of the America voted for president or something, because right now he's leading in popular vote. Trump is leading in popular vote by 3.5 million votes.
Yeah.
So, of course, he's going to make it up in California, Biden is. But still, this is just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so this is Nate Cohn from, Aadit, this is for you, from Nate Cohn from New York Times, who's saying, ominous sign for Biden in Pennsylvania, Trump running ahead of his 2016 performance in Turnbull County, near Youngstown and on the West Pennsylvania border, with nearly all of the votes counted. So he's, I think 55% of the votes in Philadelphia are still to come in, but this is a ridiculous performance so far.
This is. I'm just looking up. Sorry, go on, Abhijit. Yeah, I was just looking up the latest results in Pennsylvania, but yeah.
So if you look at how many of the votes that have been counted in Pennsylvania as a whole, and you add the fact that 55% of Philadelphia still hasn't been counted, I don't think that 55% now is enough to even the score out.
Yeah, because it's 55.7% to 43.1%. It's a big gap.
It is. I don't think it's enough. And these things tend to aggregate. Let's see. With Philadelphia, also had voting machine breakdowns. Remember, they had some significant voting machine breakdowns. So let's see what happens out there.
What's that?
Pennsylvania has a lot of mail-in ballots, so that ballots could come in a little later in the day also. So that no. But here is the thing: where is Trump leading? In the north part of Pennsylvania and Erie, Lake Erie area, right? He did a rally there a few days ago, and comedians mocked him for that. Why is he doing a rally there? Guess what? He's leading there. Michigan, there was a county, I think Muskogee County or something, I forget the name, where Hillary was winning last time.
Yeah.
Now he has made inroads into those votes. See, America, they don't win saying how many seats they win, right? If Trump is losing 50,000 votes in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, he can get 50 votes from 1,000 locations and make that 50,000 up, and it's still even Stevens' reaction. I'm giving an extreme example, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So that is what Trump realized, कि यहाँ मेरी दाल नहीं गलने वाली. And the classic example of that is Florida, where Miami-Dade County, Hillary won with more than 63% vote. But Trump did rallies. He did a rally at 12 o'clock in the night on Sunday. He got more than 45% vote there. And that is it. Yeah, that is a Democratic stronghold. So that is the political sense that we are talking about.
Yeah. So here, go ahead.
One very curious thing I'm watching right now is that if you guys are watching CNN, they are deliberately holding back the leads in all the Republican-leaning states. It's really very curious.
New York Times is the opposite. They are just handing out states to Biden already, New York Times. They're giving states that haven't even been counted yet.
No, Wisconsin and Michigan, I understand, but why the hell not call Texas? I just don't understand.
Why the hell not call Florida?
No, Florida
Why the hell
also,
not call Trump?
because Florida is mail-in ballots might be an issue because the margin is low. But Texas is, I mean, it's a slam dunk. I
As
don't
done
know.
as it'll be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas is done. Texas is done. That's a too big of a lead to
Yeah,
overcome.
Trump is winning by 500,000 votes in Texas right now.
Yeah. Texas is done.
There's no way you can overcome a 500,000 lead.
Yeah.
No, and there are about at least 20 or 30 I mean, I don't know if this is, no, this is not visible. I was trying to show. But there are 20 or 30 rural counties in Texas where Trump wins like 70-30 or 80-20. They have yet to report. So any idiot will tell you this 500,000 lead will go up to 1,000,000 votes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You look at Pennsylvania, even with that 42%, he is now leading by what? 400,000 votes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this
He's
is like
leading by
the New York
400,000
Times one that I have right
Pennsylvania
now.
with 45% of Philadelphia counted.
Exactly.
Yes. That is with 45% of Philadelphia counted.
Of all the states right now, I think the only states that are beyond Trump's reach at the moment, other than, I'm not even counting, Delaware, Connecticut, New York, and all those places. I'm talking about the battleground, is Arizona. Arizona, his lead seems to be quite high. He's Biden has about 280,000 lead, and that's 78% of the votes counted, which you can't really whittle down. So. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's got it.
For you guys, Fox News just called Florida for Trump, I think.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
Oh,
Fox
wow.
News is on Florida, yeah.
Oh, there we go. So Florida for Trump. So that's 29.
It required a Fox to call and wake up New York Times and CNN from their stupor.
So that's how much? That's 38. Let's say Texas is also done. So that's 38 plus
29. 67. So then if you add 67 to 112, that's 189 to 2 or 189 to or 179, I think, to 209. So it becomes close again.
Yeah, it's 209 also because, again, they've already given Virginia, remember, to Biden. And that might still stay with Biden, but they've already given it to Biden, even though it's a little bit closer now. It's like for 52. The lead is now still like 100.
Called Utah for Trump.
How many are Utah, though? How many seats are Utah?
5 or 6.
Like 6.
Trump will take any extra change seats he can.
Yeah. Utah's like 6. So then you're looking at like 189 to 209, whatever it might be. And then you're down to Pennsylvania, you're down to Michigan, you're down to Ohio and Wisconsin.
Right.
And if these 4 states get like massive at that point, I feel like, when you're that close, Pennsylvania has got 20, Michigan's got 16, Ohio's got 18, Wisconsin.
Georgia. What is Georgia right now? That's what I'm curious because
Georgia Trump. It's huge.
No, Georgia's Trump. Yeah.
Yeah.
Georgia's pretty heavily Trump.
Exactly. Georgia is 10%. Trump is leading by 10% with 67% reporting. So, in fact, Trump's lead in Georgia is about the same as Pennsylvania. Georgia is smaller than Pennsylvania. So, I don't know why they're not calling that for Trump.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Because that stuff adds up, man. Because Iowa's like with Biden, looks like it. Iowa's only 6 though. Minnesota's with Biden, which wasn't really that big of a surprise. I think the only big one that he's gotten so far is Arizona. Nevada will probably also go with Biden. You never know. But yeah, I think it's
Nevada, Mexico, Colorado. I think all of these are going to go with Biden.
Yeah.
But I would caution for Minnesota, right? I don't think Minnesota is over yet because Trump lost Minnesota only by 40,000 votes.
Where are we right now? So right now it's a pretty big lead. Like I'm sure a lot of them have not been
because most of the votes are coming from Minneapolis and Duluth and those areas, which are like urban votes, right? So if you look at, I don't know if you can look at the map, but I'm looking at the map on Google, and if you see the unreported counties, about 40% of them are rural counties which Trump won last time.
Right. What is this?
Right? You see those white spots? They are all unreported spots, and they're all Republicans.
Oh, yeah.
So if you look at the Minneapolis area, like go down go up to Minneapolis, the view is you can see that a lot of vote has been reported from Minneapolis.
Yes, 94% of the votes have been reported
So
here.
that's where Biden is getting his big vote dump from. But if you look at the other places, that's where Trump is going to run up the numbers.
Yeah, in a lot of these places, it hasn't even been begun counting yet. Yeah.
And like I said, all Trump needs is 20 counties and 15,000 margin in them, and he's going to get 300,000 votes.
Yeah. It's really tricky. It's really
very tricky. And
yeah.
So this is the thing right now. John King is saying that 34% of Philadelphia is reported, and Philadelphia is 75-25 for Trump and Biden, which is what they were projecting anyways. So if that happens, what Abhijit was saying might just hold, that they might carry that 75-25 margin through, but then Trump might run the other state 70, the other parts of the state 75-25.
Yeah.
Virginia again. Look what's happened. It's been Trump's lead is about 180,000 votes or so, and it's 58% of the votes counted so far.
Yes, 58% of the votes counted with around 160,000 vote lead.
Yeah.
Look at the way it's bifurcated. It's so funny. Look at the red. Exactly. Look at the blue in that tiny little area.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's what was the? I don't remember it right now. I don't know if any one of you do. What was the electoral college breakup for Hillary and Trump in 2016? Does anyone remember?
306 for Trump, if I'm not mistaken.
306 was it?
Yeah. So because
it was wider.
Yeah, because I think people forget he won Michigan and Wisconsin the next day, right? So that is 26. So he had already won with Pennsylvania. He had 280. So he became the president, and then he
280 that same night. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that wide at all. It's going to be pretty close this year, right?
No, but I don't know, because he won Michigan by 10,000 votes and Wisconsin by 30,000 votes, right? But here is the propaganda of the left in America. They would always harp on how Hillary lost Michigan and Wisconsin by 10 and 30,000 votes. They would say that she won Minnesota by 40,000 votes and New Hampshire by 3,000 votes. So I'm like, report both sides. Huh? Why are you only saying Michigan and Wisconsin?
Yeah, true. North Carolina is pretty tight. North Carolina, 95% of the votes have been reported, and Trump's leading by almost like 150,000.
I think
about less than that. What's that?
I think North Carolina will go for Trump.
Yeah, North Carolina is 95% done, and Trump's in a pretty decent lead, so that could be done. Ohio is looking done. Wisconsin 50% is done, and he's in a decent lead.
Wondering where they are getting.
They're getting what? What's that?
We lost Abhijit for a second.
Did we? Oh no, he's here. He's just really still.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, he's back. I thought he was there. He was just really still.
So in Virginia, the gap. Yeah, in Virginia, the gap is closing.
Okay.
The gap is closing. So I'm. Let's see. I'm still optimistic.
Yeah, but Virginia's closer now.
Last time. So if Trump wins North Carolina, that will offset his defeat in Virginia.
Right.
But
exactly.
But what is interesting is he's not given up his lead in Wisconsin. Nate Stewart projected Trump to be 8% ahead in Michigan, Biden to be 8% ahead in Wisconsin and 6% in Michigan. And Trump is leading Michigan by 12 and Wisconsin by 3.
My God. Yeah.
So Jake Tapper, the CNN analyst, had this wonderful one-liner, which I think is probably the best sort of comment on this election. And I'm going to quote it exactly. He said to all the pundits predicting a blowout, "You can't get high on your own supply."
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, it's crazy where we are at right now. I'm just trying to see if there's been any movement anywhere, but it looks like there hasn't been.
What is going to hurt Trump a little bit is the loss in Arizona.
Yeah.
That
But
is going
what I was thinking from that point of view is that if he can pull one of the states that that Biden was supposed to win, that's what offsets it,
yeah,
like something like a Virginia or a Pennsylvania. Like I think either of those states, if he can win either a Virginia or a Pennsylvania, that's huge.
yeah.
That's so huge. Those 20 electoral seats, man, that's going to be huge.
See,
Yeah.
I think what happened was, and where I think Trump messed up a little bit is he should not have gone after John McCain so heavily in Arizona, because he's still very popular. He's a war hero, and then what happened was his wife actually went for Biden, so that hurt him a lot. Plus, there was a very unpopular senator that
Yeah.
bitch Trump, McSally, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this I don't understand at all, Sham or Abhijit. One of you guys tell me, why is this happening in Texas now? Trump's lead is almost 5%.
They just don't want to declare it. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Look, they're not declaring Texas, they're not declaring Florida. So if you look at the New York Times' prediction of this thing, it shows 209 to Biden and 118 electoral college votes to Trump, and that's because they're refusing to call Florida and Texas. They're also refusing to call Georgia, where Trump's lead is like 400,000 votes, 400,000 votes at the moment.
Yeah.
Ohio, I mean, look, I mean, how do you come over a 400,000 lead with 86% of the votes counted at Ohio, and you're not putting it in Trump's corner? You know, there's, I don't understand what the logic of this is so far.
Yeah, Trump's going to win Florida by more than Obama did in 2008, and they still haven't called it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry, Abhijit.
Illinois is voting as predicted blue. But
Illinois
that's entirely
blue.
because
Oregon,
of Chicago.
they just called Oregon for Biden, which is a huge shock to nobody.
No, but I'll tell you something which is very interesting. In my city, where I'm based in Houston, right? Like I was saying, Biden was projected to. The Harris County is one of the biggest counties in America. If it was a state, it would be the 25th biggest state in America. It's that big. So Biden was projected to get a huge lead. Right now in Harris County, it's 56 to 43. To Trump is 43, Biden is 56. And to give you guys perspective, people are hoping to win this county for him 70-30. And if you cannot win 70-30 in Harris County, that means you don't have enough votes to beat Trump, because Trump, instead of getting 300,000 votes from Harris County, which was assumed, he got 600,000 votes from Harris County. And guess what the margin is in Texas? 500,000 votes. That's where the extra $250,000 is coming in. If the Democrats cannot run Harris and Fort Bend County, you can kiss the state of Texas goodbye, because they will win in Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, and be very happy that, oh, we won 75% of the vote here. But by the biggest chunk of your vote, which is a swing vote, so to speak. And Houston is a very liberal, progressive city, because it actually voted for the first openly gay mayor of America. So it's not, but when it comes to the presidential election, it actually votes very differently from when it might vote for the local body election
and stuff.
So this is not like Seattle or San Jose or something like that. So it's very strange sort of dichotomy of Texas here.
Oh, check this out. This is from Washington, D.C. F Trump, F Biden, no more presidents. About 150 Black Bloc Antifa begin marching through the streets, led by an umbrella squad. They have gas masks, weapons, and some of them have shields. This is apparently a better image. Antifa mobilized in very large numbers, and they're marching to an unknown location. Where the hell are they going? But this is what it is. Like, it's almost kind of like holding the country to ransom. Like, if you don't vote the way we want you to vote, we are going to burn down your cities. This is a threat, and they still don't want to call it a terror organization.
I don't know what is wrong with the Democratic Party if they still continue to pander to this sort of this the far left sort of thing. But this is
Yeah.
in Washington DC, you said.
This is in Washington D.C. Yeah,
So
Washington D.C.
I'm just looking. The Fox News said that they are calling a major battleground state, and basically it's Florida. So CNN is still not calling. CNN is still not calling Florida. But here's the thing: Trump is narrowing Biden's lead in Arizona. Now the difference is close to 7%.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Abhijit, I want to just ask you because I think we can, I think results are going to be floating in. But in the meantime, I just wanted to ask you a little bit something about what's going on with Arnab. We've gotten a lot of messages. I've been seeing a lot of tweets about how this, he's been arrested, he's been assaulted. When he was taken away in his car, I think he said that they hit his son or something as well. Like they beat his son
Yeah.
also while they were trying to arrest him.
Yeah.
And this is crazy. I've been trying to I'm going through my Twitter timeline right now, and all of the tweets that I'm seeing about what's going on with Arnab is all from the quote unquote right wingers. There's no left wingers saying freedom of speech is under threat, media is under
They
threat, nothing
never will.
like that.
See, they
Yeah,
never will. They are the biggest pieces of shit you will ever come across.
yeah,
Okay. For them, freedom of speech is only restricted to them, speech they approve of. Anything that goes against them is not freedom of speech, it's hate speech.
yeah,
Okay. This is the kind of trash that pass off as the guardians of free speech in India. And it's sad, but it doesn't matter. But I'm not angry with the left for doing what they do, because
yeah,
I've always known that this is what they do.
yeah,
That's why I stopped being a left winger, because I realized there were a bunch of hypocrites. My issue really is with the BJP. Okay,
yeah,
what the hell are you doing sleeping around?
yeah.
I have never come across a bigger bunch of dolts than the BJP not doing damn all to help this man out.
Yeah, what are they doing? You have this
You
journalist
have
that
the
was
governor.
arrested. Yeah,
You have the governor who has a lot of powers to interfere, and the governor is doing nothing.
yeah,
Right. So there's lots of powers you do have. You have a 56J, which is to sack people from service effective immediately. They
yeah,
could have done that to Parambir Singh if they wanted to, but they're not.
yeah.
So I don't know where this is going, but
Because the thing is,
the BJP is sticking up
if you
to
just
everything
let
I
this
expect.
slide, the problem with this is if you just let this slide, then this is going to lead to a terrible place. Because if you can just on a whim go to a journalist's house, you grab him, you beat up his family, you beat him up, and then you throw him in jail, and you have one side that wails and whatever weeps, but another side just stays quiet because it's not their guy, it's quote unquote the other side's guy. It's gonna happen again. What they don't realize is it's gonna happen again, and that next time it's gonna happen to Ravish Kumar. The third time it's gonna happen to Sudhir
Yeah.
Chaudhary. The fourth time it's gonna happen to their guy. So this is gonna become a cycle, and you have to stop this cycle before it starts. But nobody seems to be keen on stopping this cycle. When this cycle should have been stopped when Arnab went into questioning for 24 hours and they asked him
Yeah.
all kinds of bullshit, arbitrary questions. They said, why do you have to keep this guy here for 24 hours? That's what they should have asked. Why are you harassing this guy like that? Sure, yeah, he's bombastic. Yeah, he talks a lot of shit. Yeah, he sometimes isn't as nice as he's supposed to be to his guests. But is that a crime that you throw somebody in jail for? Is that a crime that you assault somebody's family for? What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
But none of that stuff I'm hearing.
Can I quickly point out something?
Yeah.
In Wisconsin, Trump's lead has increased slightly.
Yes.
In Iowa, Biden's lead is down to just 4,000 votes at the moment.
Ooh, yes, I'm seeing. Yep. With 65% of the votes reported.
Yeah, I don't think anything is going to happen in Minnesota. There, Biden has a very
looks like
big
it's done.
lead.
Yeah.
But I think Iowa is going to flip shortly, blue, and Wisconsin is.
I think Wisconsin might stay red.
blue because I'm not seeing Biden whittling away Trump's share.
Yeah, I think Wisconsin
Or even in
stays
Michigan.
red.
Yeah. So I
Michigan
think
is going to be red. Michigan is going to be red.
Michigan is red. So
Yeah.
Michigan, Iowa, Minnesota are going to go red. Well, are red, remain red. Wisconsin is going to be blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Illinois, I think Biden has a huge thing, but that's
No,
because of all
Illinois
the toll.
is done. Yeah, Illinois.
Yeah.
Illinois is a write-in for Democrats.
Yeah.
It's got a huge
But
lead
look,
there. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm surprised because I never thought
Arizona is huge, man. Surprise!
if you
What?
actually go to the New York Times, guys, just check this out. It's showing the tick on Joseph Biden, even though their own statistics are showing that Trump is 3% points ahead.
Where?
Virginia, on the New York Times website.
Yeah, that's where I am.
It
That's
makes
where
no
I am. Let me
sense
show
because
you.
if you go on CNN, Biden is the state is still projected too close to call. So I
Okay.
don't understand why New York Times is this. I think New York Times just blindly copied what AP did, and now they're having a senior moment. AP is.
Yeah,
But what-
and look at Trump's lead. Trump's lead is a full 100,000 votes with 61% counting.
Absolutely. One quick point before I wanted to add on to something that Abhijit said about Arnab is it's unbelievable. It's clearly it's a witch hunt right now, and quite frankly, something needs to be done. And it's just unbelievable that Uddhav, the kind of ship that Uddhav is running in Mumbai. Yeah. It's just whether it's Arnab or the things that have happened, the silly games they've played with FIRs, and it's just unbelievable.
Thing is, though, like Abhijit, what is the long game here? Is there even an idea of a long game for the Shiv Sena? Okay, you used to be this Hindutva party, but you had problems with the BJP, so you decided, okay, we're going to go out on the.
wasn't a Hindutva party also. They became a Hindutva party in the 90s. Before that, they were something.
Yeah.
There is Shiv Sena every decade.
I think basically it's come down to this, that Uddhav has lost the moment he put his chief ministership up front.
Right.
He's lost it, and I don't blame him for it. In that way, you look at it, the BJP treated them very badly. Modi treated them very badly in UPA 1 as well. Sorry, in NDA 1 as well, in Modi 1 as well. He's put his chief ministership first. He's seen that the popular vote in Maharashtra is shifting from the Shiv Sena to the BJP. And I think he's basically decided that this is going to be his, the last flourish of the phoenix. Because after this, I don't think any of the Shiv Sena, the cadre will of course be loyal to the party, but the Shiv Sena voters will not, because they're going to see this as the biggest betrayal of Balasaheb Thackeray possible. Yeah. Right. And Balasaheb Thackeray is a brand. Uddhav Thackeray is not a brand.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So what is the Shiv Sena? So that was going to be my question. So what is going to be the Shiv Sena brand going forward? Let's say 5 years from now, what is the Shiv Sena brand supposed to be? Like, what is the strategy here?
No brand left. Right. What are you protecting anymore? If you're protecting Marathi Manus, then there's Raj Thackeray also protecting Marathi Manus, who's kind of like a BJP proxy. Right. If it was Shiv Sena, if it was Balasaheb Thackeray, you've betrayed his legacy. What do you have left? I think basically Uddhav has given up. Right. He has accepted that this is going to be his last shot at power, but he's going to make the best of the 5 years afforded to him. And that's it.
So I'm going to say something. I don't think Uddhav is consolidating power. He's just using power right now. Because because you consolidate power in hope to come to power again. I don't think he has that hope. Right? And Bal Thackeray, Uddhav in this Putra movement.
Yeah.
And in 2005, that's when Thackeray left and Sanjay Nirupam left. And Uddhav is doing the same with Aditya Thackeray. So you think that... So I have a lot of close ties to Mumbai. Virtually, I call it my second home. I've been a lot to the city. And I was in the city this February as well when the whole Uddhav change, happened. Mumbai, the Shiv Sena cadre in Mumbai is powerful because there is a Shiv Sainik in every 3 gullies that you can think, right? This is where their power comes from. It literally comes from bottom up, not from top down. Uddhav is hellbent into changing that into a top down party.
Yeah.
And if a Shiv Sainik who is battling sort of the elements in Baikhalla or Worli or Khar, if he's being told by Sanjay Raut, who goes on TV studios what to do, he's going to go, give him a rapta de dunga main tere ko. What the hell do you know? Sitting in Delhi, what I have to face in Worli.
Yeah.
So when is it? Shiv actually was a true cadre based party.
Yeah.
With a leader who was not interested in and Bal Thackeray was the original Sonia Gandhi, where he didn't
Exactly.
but wanted power, and the original Manmohan Singh was Manohar Joshi.
Yeah.
Guys, just to come back to the elections, Iowa has now
There was an American
Iowa
election.
has flipped.
Iowa has flipped.
Iowa is now a pretty significant high for Trump.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wisconsin is now 70,000 votes.
No.
It's just increased.
Wisconsin is AP is saying 70,000. I'm just looking at CNN. It is close to 90,000.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
CNN is 90,000 Wisconsin, and Michigan is also Trump by 280,000.
Yeah, Michigan. I think we can be rest
Michigan,
assured with
Wisconsin,
Michigan.
Iowa are now red.
Exactly.
Wow. And Ohio's red, right? Ohio's pretty red at this point. Ohio's almost like 500,000, red by 500,000
They're
votes.
refusing to call these states. I'm like, you're
And
leading by
Ohio's at
half a
88,
million
man.
votes.
Yeah.
With 88% counted, how the hell are you not calling Ohio?
Yeah.
Right. Pennsylvania, okay, it's only 48% counted, but again, it's a half a bloody million lead.
Yeah.
It's just gone up again with 49%. It's gone up by about the lead just increased by about 15,000. Yeah. I'm like, how are you not calling these states out?
And Michigan is gotten closer, but still, Trump is still having a 305,000 vote lead in Michigan. So
yeah.
you're looking at the margins of the state that at 30,000, 10,000, votes. They have all increased their margins in this election.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's I honestly don't know. The only state I think
has Virginia gotten closer? Looks like Virginia has gotten closer, right?
No,
Virginia is getting closer.
It's 2%.
It's still 2%. Yeah, with 64% in. Yeah. Okay.
So Virginia is 2%, but if you look at the lump sum of the votes, it has gone down to about 60,000-70,000 votes. But so even if Virginia loses, I don't understand one thing. Virginia is called for Trump, called for Biden when he's trailing by 60,000 votes. North Carolina, Trump is leading by 100,000 votes and is not called for Trump.
Yeah, with 90% of the voting done, and this is at 60. Virginia is at 64%.
Yeah, North Carolina 95% report.
They just don't want to accept it yet. They just don't want to give it in just yet.
Really the गालिब वाला शेर है ना कि दिल के खुश्क रखने को गालिब ये क्या लगता है हमको मालूम है जन्नत की हकीकत लेकिन
it is weird. So wait, I was gonna ask you something, but I completely lost my chain of thought. Yeah. Indiana was the first one to be declared. Indiana is 11. That's not bad. Illinois is a lot.
Yeah.
Illinois is a lot. Arizona is the big one.
I think Arizona, we can safely say that it's going to go for
Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty big lead. That's a lead that I don't think you can.
I don't think you can overcome that lead.
Yeah.
One thing which is very interesting, one state is giving, it's not really a swing state, which is the state of Montana, where Biden has a little bit of a lead, but then don't go get confused by the percent. The lead is 1,000 votes. 1,000 votes. So
I just wanted to say to Abhijit that one of your best friends has won her re-election bid to the House from Minnesota's 5th congressional district.
Wow.
So get ready to enjoy her for a few more years, Abhijit.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No. Horrid creature.
Horrid creature.
This is as breaking as PK Kunhalukutty, the leader of Indian Union Muslim League, winning his seat from Kerala, right? I mean, once you know he has gotten the ticket, you know he's going to win. So
yeah, that's true.
The Ilhan Omar's main thing is, can she get through the primary?
Yeah.
Right? So for people
we all know what this is. This is white guilt.
Yeah.
Okay, it's pure white guilt at having being such a white state, so they need Ilhan to collectively whitewash their conscience. That's about it.
Well, they need Ilhan, they need Rashida Tlaib to tell them that the only way that you can get over your guilt is if you offer the one state solution for Israel. That's the that's the only way that they can get over their guilt. You have AOC.
Really hoping somebody. I'm really hoping somebody screws over that warthog Pramila.
Oh my God, tell me about it, man. That's the I it's not going to bother me that much at the end of the day if Biden does win. The only thing that will bother me is Ro Khanna and Pramila Jayapal's sort of naked opportunism gets rewarded. That's the only thing that's going to bother me, because that's the only way that I can describe it. It's naked opportunism. That's the only way I can describe it. There's no other way to describe the way they've behaved.
By the way, guys, I have to tell you this. So in California has, of course, reported like 50-60% of the votes. And, Biden obviously is like winning the state 70-30. Yeah. And that has changed the popular vote, where Biden is now leading in the popular vote. But the lead is only 1.6 million votes, right, in California. Yeah. Now, if you look at if they maintain that 3 million lead, which which Hillary had last time, right, that means, and if you look at it as a percent, because the turnout was a lot more this time, then that would mean that Trump has actually gotten more percentage of votes than what he did last time.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
And that is incredible, because not only has he got 10 million, not only is he projected to get about 4 or 5 million more votes than last time, he might actually get more percentage votes. And what we were told was that Biden would actually bring that Democrat who had voted for Trump back to the Democrats and win the third party independent votes.
Yes.
So, also, what does this tell you about the non-affiliated independents? Because there were so many. अब वो data बंद कर दिया CNN वालों ने देना. पूरा दिन में देख रहा था. They were like, in Florida 50%, 42% Republican, 38% Democrat, but 14% non-decided. That non-decided has gone to Trump.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. Yeah. There was a super chat from Shashidharan Karthikeyan who was saying Nate Silver just admitted to his error in Florida polling. Well, there we go. Then, there's a good one from Anirudh Oraon. Abhijit Iyer-Mitra better dance shirtless if Trump wins, or this stream isn't even worth it. So there you go.
Done, man. I've got something better. I'm just going to keep
waving. Something better. There you go. See, he's got the pins ready.
I know.
The pins ready to go.
Abhijit looks like he's sitting in America, और हम दोनों India से लग रहे हैं बात कर रहे हैं.
Yeah, it does look like it's switched. Let's see. Is there any other questions? Is there any other? Yeah, go ahead, Aadit.
Half of Pennsylvania has reported the votes. Trump has just increased his lead to 500,000 votes.
Ooh, it's big. Yeah, that's a big lead.
That's a huge lead, and I'll just check.
So yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Now that question comes back to me. Like so now where we are with Pennsylvania and the number of votes that we have in Pennsylvania and the lead Trump has in Pennsylvania. In what scenario do you see Biden making up that lead in Pennsylvania? Do you see that happening realistically, or in what scenario can you see that happening?
So okay, is that a question for me?
Yeah, for you, Aadit.
So okay, let's look at Philadelphia, right? The one of the few places where he can build up the lead. With 40% of the votes reported, Biden is at a lead of about 150,000 votes or something. Okay. Now, if you extrapolate and say he holds that lead, and you add another 60%, that's another 200 to 220,000 votes that he gets from Philadelphia. Even then, he needs another 300,000 votes from other Democratic strongholds, and he needs to Trump to hold on and not gain any more votes.
Yeah.
So that is the thing. But for me, one of the biggest thing is if you look at the northern part where Trump actually went and did his rallies, Trump is winning that part 60-35.
Wow.
Or I mean, that is the incredible. They were all light red. They are dark red right now. And another thing is
all of Erie County, Crawford County, McKean County, all of those areas where he went and campaigned.
Exactly. And that is the thing. And then look at Pittsburgh, right? So Pittsburgh is voting Democrat completely. So that's another place where he'll make up the more votes, because Pittsburgh is like 80-20 Democrat and only 17% of Pittsburgh has reported.
Right.
But if you look at the suburbs of Pittsburgh, they're all Republican.
Yep.
So I just think there is a lot of Republican vote out still in Pennsylvania to be reported, if I just look at it. And unless and until Biden just runs up the table, getting like some sort of a insane, like a 90-10 margin, what he cannot overcome a deficit of 500,000 votes unless something insane happens. And it has happened, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah. A lot of people are talking about that 269 draw. Like they're saying if Biden flips Arizona, which looks pretty likely, and if he wins Wisconsin and Michigan, then it'll probably end up being 269. What the hell even happens if it's a draw?
When you talk about what the hell, let me give you a what the hell scenario.
Yeah.
There is a state in the Northeast in the play, the state of Maine.
Yeah, the state. Yeah.
Trump is trailing Biden only by 10,000 votes.
In Maine?
Maine is in play. And I'm not talking about the District 2. District 2, because Maine vote split. Maine District 2, Trump is winning for sure.
It's increased. Now Biden is leading by 20,000 votes.
20,000, yeah.
But still, that is not much.
Yeah, that isn't much at all.
It's with only 37% of the votes also.
But if you go by a trend, if the lead has increased from 10,000 to 20,000, is Maine one of the states that has a split thing? Like Connecticut?
I would certainly think that the 2nd district of Maine will go to Trump. But the 3 other votes are where they are contesting. But you, in a conventional setup, you would not expect Maine to be contested. That's my thing. How the hell is this a contest? That's like someone saying Congress is putting up in the fight in my seat of Ahmedabad West in Gujarat. I mean, I will fall down if that happens.
I think what all of us do need to do, though, is spare a thought for Kanye West, because I was hoping Kanye West would get more votes than he did. And he clearly did really care about his presidency and his candidacy. So spare a thought for Kanye West.
Yeah, how many votes has he got, man? I can't see.
No idea. Is he even on the ballot, or is it just a meme? Like, is he even on the ballot?
Kanye West got 1,100 votes in Vermont.
Did he really?
That's
hilarious. Somebody actually voted for him. Yeah, so I see just other candidates who have 289,000 votes, but I don't know how many Kanye got.
I didn't see that. But in Vermont, he got 1,100 votes. It's just something like that's what it said.
Let's see how many he got. I'm trying to check to see how many Kanye got. Kanye West has 1,187 votes in Vermont. Yeah, again, I'm only seeing Vermont. So maybe it's only Vermont where people voted for him, but I don't see anywhere else.
By the way, Trump is now leading in Texas by 7%, and they're still not calling Texas.
And this is with 87% of the votes counted.
Yeah, that's what 87% done.
Yeah, and in Georgia, with 75% of the vote counted, he's leading by 7%. Yep. In Florida, with 98% of the vote counted, he's leading by 4%. So, my point is, there are not enough even votes to make up the difference.
Yeah. North Carolina, what are they waiting for? I don't know. North Carolina is like 96% done.
95% counted. There's not enough votes there to make up the difference, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what they're waiting on. Iowa's crazy. Iowa's completely flipped. Iowa now, Trump has a pretty decent lead.
Pennsylvania, Trump's lead just went up to 550,000.
Yeah. There's no way Pittsburgh is going to equalize this, huh?
Yeah.
You can go up to 200,000-300,000 votes, but 500,000.
That's it.
Very difficult.
Yeah. So where do we end up, Aadit? Like if we do the math, which I'm not very good at, if we try to do the math with where we are at right now, where are we? Do you think with where the votes are right now?
So right now, if Ohio were to go to Trump, and
which looks like it,
if Florida, Texas, Georgia, and North Carolina were to go to Trump, then you're looking at Trump at 241. Right, and let's put Iowa for Trump as well, and Pennsylvania for Trump, because if Pennsylvania goes to Trump, then Trump is at 267 and Biden is at 259. This is assuming Michigan, Wisconsin, and Arizona are undecided. Now let's put if Michigan goes to Trump,
Yeah.
or like then at that point, basically Trump can either win one of Michigan or a combination of
Wisconsin.
Arizona or Wisconsin and can clinch the presidency.
So if it stays the way it is, and you're saying that if Michigan and if Trump wins either of Michigan and Wisconsin or both.
No, so if he wins Ohio, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina, then he only needs Michigan. He does not need both.
Okay, then he does not need both.
Yeah, but if he loses in Michigan, then he would need a weird sort of combination where 10 from Wisconsin, वो split seat से एक दो लेके आया, and then we are doing sort of another sort of math. But then you are looking at another boss thing, and I hate to mention this word on a public forum, but it's called recount.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because if states are getting decided by less than point some percent of their margin, I don't know, state by state there are different laws, then they'll go into recount. Florida won't go into recount because Florida has more than 3% margin for Trump. So that
Right.
would, but if it gets closer. But right now, it's just looks very difficult.
They're talking about the mail-in. There was a question from Jeet Kumar, I reckon. What about the mail-in ballots in Pennsylvania? Won't they swing it Biden's way at all?
We don't know how many percent of mail-in ballots have been counted, but as they are being counted, they are being reported. I'm saying we are looking at the trends that are in constituencies where these ballots or votes have been reported and extrapolating those trends. And the only way this can change is if in places where Trump is ahead, his lead suddenly switches over to Biden, and Biden continues his lead in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh again, which is in the realms of possibility. But in the last 30 minutes or 1 hour where we've been doing this thing, Trump has not dropped his lead. It's only increased. हमने शुरू किया था तब 2.5 लाख थी, अब 5 लाख हो गई है.
Yeah. Another topic I wanted to bring to your attention, Abhijit, is something that's very interesting, and it's kind of in my online media kind of world a little bit. There's a super chat from India Unraveled who's saying Steven Crowder's stream has the highest online views, and that is really something that's been such a big difference from Trump winning to today. Is mainstream media like the New York Times, Young Turks, these people can only dream of the kind of online views that Steven Crowder's stream is getting. They can only dream of the kind of views that Daily Wire and their live stream right now is getting on their own website. And so the way mainstream media has kind of ceded so much ground to these other alternative platforms in such a quick span of like 4 years or so. It's astounding how much ground that they've given up.
Right. Now, look, there's two things. First, before I address that, let me come to the electoral map. So I'm doing my CNN electoral map at the moment. I've given Illinois and Minnesota to blue, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, blue. The loss of Arizona being compensated by the gain of Virginia. And you're still getting, and I've counted Connecticut entirely, Connecticut and Maine entirely as blue. You're still getting a total based on the current trends at the moment.
So wait, you're saying
you're getting 307 for Trump.
No, that's considering you giving Virginia to Trump. But at the moment, if you look at New York, the latest map, it's 75% of the votes counted, and Biden's in the lead with more than 200,000 votes.
Oh, yeah. That's flipped.
Yeah. So that flipped back again. Yeah, okay. Virginia flipped again.
So it's flipped again, and it's quite a significant flip because now it's 200,000 votes, yes?
Yes.
Yeah. So Virginia will stay like this, I think. Virginia will stay like this, but
Virginia
I think
makes sense at this point.
North Carolina, you can call it for Republican right now, essentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
So even if you take that away, Trump has 294.
Right. So you need 267, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, I have to give you this update. Wisconsin, Trump's lead just widened by about 5%. But the total, it's about 130,000 votes now.
Yeah, and it's 67%, 61% done.
61% done. And what is interesting is, and I know Illinois is not even a contest right now, but last time Trump only got 38% of the vote in Illinois. That vote is up to 42.5%.
Ah, look at that. There we go.
Now some votes he's getting more, and Michigan mein to he has maintained his lead by 11 points. I think this is unbelievable.
Dude, Michigan are so angry.
One Ohio. He's won Pennsylvania. He's won Iowa. So, even giving away Nevada, Arizona, Virginia, New Mexico, Colorado, Illinois, you're still looking at a total of 294 electoral college votes for Trump.
And Abhijit, can I give you the biggest shocker of this election right now? Michigan is a county, Wayne County, that has the city of Detroit. The city of Detroit is as democratic as it gets. Right now, it is 54 Biden, 44 Trump.
There you go.
It is that. So the thing one has to ask is, are the traditional voters things apply, right?
Yeah.
Maybe psephologists and pollsters have to look that actually in Latinos and in African American populations, Trump has actually made inroads.
Right.
Yeah.
You cannot just win like this in Detroit just on the basis of white vote. You have to get some sort of African American vote.
Right.
So it's just interesting.
Just a quaint little side point. Nevada has started reporting at 1% in. Trump has 91% of the vote.
1% of the vote. I just saw it, yeah. So is a question here for Aadit from Sam Business for you. Why is Virginia flipping like this? Any reason?
No, Virginia has always been like that. Like I said earlier in the stream, it's basically Fairfax County, the biggest county of Virginia, which is bordering the state of, the northeast, Washington, D.C., Maryland, and stuff like that. That has the biggest chunk. And right now, with 86% of the vote, Biden is getting 76 to 21. And he has a lead of 205,000 in Fairfax County, which is what the lead is in this entire state. So essentially, unless and until the Republicans so Virginia used to be a strong Republican state, then it's turned purple, and Bush won it once, and still after that it's gone for Democrats. So Virginia is very interesting, right? It has voted for Republican governors, Republican senators, but never for a Republican as president in the last 12-13 years. But basically the flip comes from Fairfax County.
Flip comes from there was.
And just to add something, sir,
go ahead, Aadit.
This is what we were talking about, that if it's the 200,000 lead, you can get your votes from urban and flip it. But if it's 500,000 lead, it becomes even more difficult, because you cannot just assume that is the case. So
yes, that is correct. So with Georgia also looks like it's leaning Trump. The Georgia is looking good for Trump at the moment.
Georgia, Trump is leading by 10% now.
Yeah, he's leading by. Look at Pennsylvania. He's leading by more. 14% or something.
14.5% actually.
14.5% in Pennsylvania.
No, but that is the thing. I think I would like to put it a caveat. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia have not reported votes since we last.
They both haven't reported.
Yeah, they have kind of stopped at 40%. So I don't know. The next vote dump will happen in the next 30 minutes. And that's when we'll know what the situation. I still expect him to hold the lead, but that's what it is.
How many votes could that be? Because right now the difference is around pretty much exactly 500,000 votes, like 500,000 votes is the difference. So if Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania, what's that?
Looking at Texas, it's now 600,000 votes, Trump's lead.
No, they just won't declare it.
They won't declare it.
Yeah, no matter what happens, they won't declare it.
This Texas Attorney General might declare the results before, or the election officer before the networks do.
Yeah.
Because you just have to look at the map of Texas and see that there are about 10 or 12, actually 20 counties that have not reported. And if you look at the 2016 results, they're not even light red, they're bright red. And by bright red, let me tell our viewers what it means in Texas. 85% Republican and 15% Democratic. That's the composition of those counties. So, he's not going to be. And if I chalo, just to placate, if there are any Biden fans listening to us, let me just tell you, Dallas has reported 85% of the votes. Austin has reported 90% of the votes. Houston has reported 85% of the votes. And so has San Antonio. Or San Antonio is about 94 actually. So that's your areas, catchment areas. वहाँ पे सिर्फ 10% vote baki hai, and 12 seats are still not reported. So it's done. Texas is done.
There's a really funny tweet here from Sohrab Ahmari.
From New York.
Have you seen this? This is this is like all the reasoning that Biden supporters can tell themselves, and it's initially in the beginning of the morning they were at the top, and now they're like, Biden is winning by bigger numbers than Hillary. Biden will win Hispanics. Biden is still winning by double digits. Biden is still winning in all the swing states. Biden is still winning. Independence will break massively for Biden. You are here right now.
Guys, what the hell? CNN said Hawaii is too early to call. Hawaii.
Fine.
This might be the Tulsi Gabbard anger vote. That why did you not get Tulsi Gabbard be the presidential nominee from
Dude, can we talk about Tulsi Gabbard for a second? Because that really bums me out. Like the way these people have treated her, it really bums me out. And what bums me out is that I don't know where do you see her ending up? Like, because I feel like she's such a promising politician in general, whether or not whatever party she belongs to. She's a very promising politician in general, but she's at a place where she's obviously not a Republican because she doesn't agree with a lot of the Republican stances and all that stuff. She wants to be a Democrat, but the Democrats don't want her. They don't want to touch her with a 10-foot pole. Where does a politician like that go?
Unfortunately, the system of America is such that you have her, and I don't agree with her on some of her economic policies because even I find them too left. But the Democrats are almost punishing her because she's a very proud Hindu politician, right?
Exactly.
How dare you do? Now, with the Republicans, the problem is the way the Republican Party is structured, and especially after what we're seeing now, you won't be able to be a non-Christian face and be a winner in the the Bible Belt area. Now people may say, oh, how can you say that? But I'm a practical person. I'm telling you what it is. It doesn't matter what I want. It is what it is. And with the party, the problem is people like Ro Khanna, Pramila Jayapal and all, they feel threatened by Tulsi Gabbard because she takes positions that they can't because of whatever reason, and because they can't, they use it as sort of a bully pulpit to as like how they throw her out or something.
Tulsi becomes a mainstream politician within the Democratic Party. Inka to khana pina hi band ho jayega.
No, and she's done two things, which is a big no in Democrats. First, bash Clinton, right? And end the reign of presidency of a Democratic promising senator from California. But basically, you have bashed a New York senator and a California senator. That is your Democratic Party. और वहाँ पे खत्म हो गया सब. So that is why they hate her.
Where does she go from here, do you think, Abhijit?
Look, I think she was always a misfit in the Democrats, right? There's no room for her there. She's probably.
I have to stop you for 2 seconds. CNN just projected Ohio for Trump.
Yeah, Ohio's done. Ohio, that makes sense. I mean, look at
Ohio.
I'm sorry.
Ohio, you're good. 500,000 with 90% of the votes reported.
No, the bottom line is no Republican can become the president without Ohio.
Right.
So
and they also said, I was reading. Crap! I lost that tweet. Sorry, Abhijit.
You go first.
I lost my tweet.
There's one thing you need to see, which is the shifts. And I think if you look at the shifts, which is the flips, the shift in margin in county-wise on the New York Times map, you'll see that there is a lot more shifts towards the Republicans than away from the Republicans.
Right.
Micro shifts.
Right.
Right, across the US. And it's across the coast. Florida, there's a very significant Republican shift. Of course, Alabama, Arkansas have all doubled down on it. But
Right.
even in Ohio, there seems to be a significant Republican shift.
Yeah.
And with California, Colorado, there's been a significant leftward shift towards the Dems, as well as Washington. And what's amusing to me is that if you add up the shifts towards the Democrats in Washington,
Yeah.
it's offset by the shift towards the Republicans in North Carolina. And that's very curious, isn't it? That even though Washington has lost businesses, they threatened Amazon. They've basically kicked, for all effects and purposes, kicked Boeing out. This is what you see. Washington is turning into a kind of Venezuela of the sort. Failed policies are being reinforced.
Yeah.
And in North Carolina, they're moving more Republican because of all the jobs that have come in.
Yeah.
But see, this is where Washington is going to go down, 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 down.
I want to share something that Andrew Sullivan said, and this really makes a lot of sense. Whatever happens next, this has been a crushing defeat for left racial identity politics. If Trump wins because of Latino voters, it strikes at the heart of that entire worldview. Like this entire edifice that they've built over the past 8 to 10 years about racial justice and race this and race that, and everything that they've built their platforms over for the past 10 years, it all comes crashing down. If they found out tomorrow that Trump won Florida because of the Cuban or / other Latino voters, like that just destroys that entire worldview. Because what are you going to do next? Who are you going to accuse of racism? Are you going to say,
Sham, on that subject, can you just come to Titania McGrath's Twitter? She's got a very interesting tweet saying Latinos are cancelled. And you look at the quoted tweet out there, it's basically some lady saying there is no such thing as Hispanics. Hispanics are actually, there's white people in Hispanics and there's black people in Hispanics. And you can't club the two together because the whites behave like whites.
Yeah. Now Latinos are also racist.
Yeah, so Latinos are cancelled. I'm very curious to see what the black voter did.
Guess who this lady is? Do you know who this lady is? Ida Bay Wells. She's the lady that wrote that 1619 project for New York Times that won the Pulitzer Prize or whatever.
Oh God, the history fabricator.
That's her. This is her.
So I'll tell you
She's
this.
going to read another
latest one. I can stop calling them Latinos. They are Cubans.
Now they're Cuban.
You
don't call them anything. You guys call them Latino votes and stuff like that.
No, you know what
the
absolute worst one is? Do you know which the absolute worst one is? I don't mind Latino. What the absolute worst one is? Latinx. That's the one.
But Shamba, no, I'm
that
coming.
Term's going to lose them Florida.
No, I'm coming to something else. Like how it's no longer a South Asian vote, like how it's an Indian vote, a Pakistani American vote, and so forth. Now in Latino vote, you will have a Mexican American vote. You will have and this is a very convenient thing. They get mad at the Latinos in Florida for voting Republican, but there are plenty of Latinos in Texas who vote Republican also.
Yeah.
ऐसा नहीं है कि Texas में Latinos don't vote Republican.
Yeah.
Sham, I can't see the comments coming up on the right. Can you?
The live chat, you mean?
हाँ. दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है.
See if I can find you the live chat. Okay, here we go. Can you see them now?
Yeah, I can see them now.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, here we go.
Yes, somebody wants us to put results on the screen. I don't think we can put results on the screen because that would be copyright.
We can do this. I can share my screen where you have that one. We can do that.
Or if you can go to this website 270towin.com, that actually lets you pick a winner. But actually this is also good also. We can also tell where it's can you refresh your page, because I am surprised I am not seeing Ohio called here.
This is New York Times. They haven't called it, I don't think. New
So,
York Times
Yeah.
still
And NYT hasn't called Ohio. But I'm wondering how you are not calling Ohio with that kind of a lead.
no, CNN has called it. Fox News has called it. So
Dude, Abhijit, you talk about Ohio with 88%. You look at Florida with 96% and they still haven't
no,
called it.
no,
North
this
Carolina, they still haven't called it.
New York Times reminds me of Sun TV whenever Jayalalitha wins. That Jayalalitha might be on her way to form or the late Jayalalitha might have be on her way to form the government, and Sun TV is still saying neck and neck contest in Tamil Nadu.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can never lose. So that is what this is.
Yeah, what
What's really surprising for me is what Adit pointed out before, the race in Maine.
Yeah, I'm telling
That
you.
lead for Biden is just not going up. It's actually come down slightly, not much, but just slightly.
It is not
What
at all
does it come down
comfortable.
by? Let's see. Where are we at with Maine? So Maine, Biden still, it's a pretty decent lead. It's still like just about,
No, there are 18,000 votes.
19,000, 18,000 votes. Yeah.
Yeah, but that is not
Which had come down from 20. So he's whittled it down by 2,000. I just want to point out the very important state of Nevada with 4,000 votes reported, is now 78% for Trump, down from 91% for Trump.
Yeah, Eureka and White Pine County. They're already deep red for Trump.
Acha, another interesting thing about Maine is that a lot of hardcore Republican counties have not yet completely reported. I'm looking at the Maine numbers, and they are still 30% of the votes. And if you see the Democrat counties, they are 59%, 60% votes, and things like that. So right now it's a battle. There is a Cumberland County, which includes the city of Portland, Maine, versus the rest of the Republican state, which is sort of a microcosm of the larger battle in America. It's one city versus one large state.
Yeah, that's that's quite amazing where we are at right now. There's.
Do you mind terribly if I smoke, or do you want to get me to get off screen?
Yeah, no, not at all. Go for it. That's the benefit of these live things. You can say and do whatever the hell you want. It takes YouTube a little second to find out. It's all good. Let me see if we have any questions for us, and we can maybe take a couple of the questions that we didn't earlier. Let's see here. What do we have? Anish Joshi is asking Abhijit, Dems had COVID lead. What happened? I don't know what that question. Do you know what that question means? Dems had COVID lead.
They just went on saying COVID. They were using COVID. They wanted harsh shutdowns to hurt the economy because no president has won on a losing economy. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, the economy has actually bounced right back. Had this election been held 2-3 months before, I would have said Biden would have won. Okay. But because the economy has bounced back, you've basically had I'm already calling it for Trump. I'm saying he's going to cross. It's maybe not going to be 303 anymore or 306, but it's going to be somewhere between 270. It's definitely 270 plus. It's going to be the 280, 290 mark.
With Trump?
With Trump, of course.
Yeah. There's a question here from, where is it? Oh yeah, there's a. Nikhil just said, Aadit, that Fox News declared Texas.
Okay.
So Fox News declared Texas, but apparently Fox News also declared Arizona for Trump.
And I think
yeah.
But this is the first time I'm seeing, and I've probably seen about 5 elections, and from here, I've never seen the network so off in their projections. Like one is declaring Ohio, the other is saying Idaho. I mean, I'm like,
oh, here's the most important question that we're going to face all election season. This is from Ashutosh Nautiyal. Ashutosh is asking, do you guys like paneer tikka?
I do not like the horrible paneer tikka that woman put up, Pramila Jaipal, taken from she put up. First of all, let's be clear about one thing. Paneer butter masala is an Indian dish. Paneer tikka masala is not an Indian dish. It is a British invention. It is disgusting because it has bottled ginger, it has a little bit of jam,
Yeah.
and it has coconut milk in there. Okay.
Right.
And that is the most disgusting thing you can eat. If you go look at the recipe that woman put up, it is
Right.
barf. Okay.
Right.
So no, I like paneer tikka when some people make it.
Yeah.
Maybe Rajendra ka
And some
dhaba
other
in
people
Delhi.
make it.
But
Yeah.
I don't even like the paneer tikka in Bukhara, because Bukhara mein kya hota hai, the huge chunks of paneer and the masala doesn't get it, and it's like eating.
No, when someone says
Like-
paneer tikka, I think barbecued paneer tikka that's cooked in a tandoor, right? I don't think paneer tikka is a paneer tikka curry.
Masala, like a
And this looked like a glorified ketchup. I mean,
देखो भाई जो भी है, the point is कि कमला हैरिस का टिक्का बनने वाला है.
nahi, there is a
No more Kamla Pasand? No Kamla Pasand for you, Abhijit?
No Kamla pasand for me.
Arey,
Abhijit, I have to tell you something.
Traffic.
Kamla did a masala dosa video with Mindy Kaling.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Did you see
After
that?
she got hammered in the polls
So horrible.
when she was running for president. अब प्रमिला जी ने पनीर टिक्का मसाला किया है और उनका टिक्का मसाला ही हो रहा है.
Paneer ya panauti? That's the real question.
And I'm honestly telling you, if you saw that, and Mindy Kaling, she is actually Chokalingam or something like that. She's Tamil.
Yeah.
And she, that kind of a dosa, forget a future prospective daughter-in-law. If I had made that dosa at home, my mom would have put hot irons on me and thrown me out of the house. Okay. What the hell, man? डोसा भी ठीक से बनाना नहीं आता है, टिक्का भी तुमको ठीक से बनाना नहीं आता है. कुछ तो, I mean, what the hell?
What can you do? Oh, there's Sri Hari Kidiyur is saying, getting back to Tulsi Gabbard. I was asking you, Abhijit. I think I was asking Abhijit. I don't know if you answered this question, but did you ever get to answer that question? What happens with Tulsi Gabbard? Like, where does someone like that end up?
Yeah, she has to make the change to the Republicans. I think she can't till the time that she is assured that Hawaii will re-elect her. And the problem is Hawaii never votes Republican, as far as I know.
Yeah.
They only vote Democrat because they're too dependent on Social Security and all that nonsense. So, unless that is her fundamental problem, if she moves to the Republicans, she should, if she has national ambition, but I don't think Tulsi will move to the Republicans till she gives up on her seat and says, enough of local politics, I'm moving national now.
Well, that should be the logical step. What will she do in Hawaii anymore?
Guys, can I give
Yeah,
one
but see, it's a classic case of, giving up the bird in the hand for two in the bush.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's
Can
true.
I
Go
give
ahead, Aadit.
one statistic, guys? So last time Hillary led in the popular vote by 2.1%. CNN just put out a graphic that the Biden lead in popular vote over Trump is only 1% right now.
Right.
So Trump actually might not be doing that bad in popular vote also, like contrary to what we may think. And let's not forget, Texas still might get another 500,000 votes to Trump in the popular vote section, 300 to 400,000 votes. So that's going to be interesting. One thing I would like to put in a caveat, and my friend Mohal Joshi was talking about it first too, Wisconsin still has around 1.8 million mail-in ballots that are still to be opened, or still not all of them have been opened. And that might happen tomorrow morning or something. So Wisconsin, we might see a flip. But as I keep saying,
think so?
Yeah, I mean, there is a chance. I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. Even if Trump loses Wisconsin and Arizona, which is 11 and 10, 21 votes, he can still become the president if he wins Michigan. And that is why I keep harping on Michigan, and why Michigan and Pennsylvania are very important. He doesn't need anything else if he wins those two.
If he so you're saying that if he wins Michigan and Pennsylvania as things stand,
yeah,
he's good to go.
Yeah, apart from North Carolina and Georgia, which I think we should give it to him anyways because he's up by a crazy amount.
Looking good. North Carolina's
If he wins Michigan and Pennsylvania, yeah, I mean there is no.
Dude, Iowa with 85%, and he's got 100,000 vote lead. It's completely flipped.
I'm going to Shri Nate Silver's website.
Dude, look at Nate Silver here. This is a tweet from Dave Rubin, right here. Nate Silver knows his gig is up. Poor guy.
No, so here is Nate Silver's update. Okay, and and this time he gave an adjusted model also, but final 538 forecast. Michigan plus 8% for Trump. Wisconsin plus 8.3% for Trump. Pennsylvania, sorry, not Trump. I'm sorry. I meant Michigan plus 8% for Biden. Wisconsin plus 8.3. Pennsylvania plus 4.7% for Biden. Florida plus 2.5% for Biden.
This fellow has lost it.
North Carolina plus 1.8% to Biden. And Georgia plus 1% to Biden.
Yeah.
And Ohio, he said dead even.
Oh, dead heat in Ohio.
Dead heat in Ohio. Texas, he said Trump will win by 1.5%. The biggest margin Trump, according to him, got in South Carolina, Alaska, and Missouri.
Right. So Ohio finally, New York Times has given to Trump.
Yeah.
Finally, New York Times declared Ohio to Trump, but they still haven't declared Texas. They still haven't declared Florida. They still haven't declared North Carolina and Georgia and Iowa, which are pretty close. So, okay.
So I have to say something. 22nd district where I am in, there was a guy called Troy Nels running against Sri Preston Kulkarni, who's an Indian American.
Yeah.
Now, this is a traditionally Republican seat and with a high Indian American population. And Sri was expected to win. They just declared Troy Nels to be the winner.
And he's Democrat, Troy Nels.
Troy Nels is a Republican.
Okay.
Sri was a Democrat. Sri is a Democrat, but I think the Indian American vote split this time and made sure that Sri lost.
Interesting. So Abhijit, Pennsylvania, with 58% of the votes reported, is still 14.5%. Trump is leading by, with 58% of the votes reported.
He's just increasing. I mean, look, at some point you have to realize the Pennsylvania lead is just as significant as the New York lead for Biden.
Yeah.
You can't assail it anymore. I mean, there's no point. It's the elephant in the room. Just call it out. Like, California, there was never any doubt it was going to go overwhelmingly to
New York Times also called Idaho and Montana now for Trump. But he needs to pick them all up to win. So I'm surprised they haven't called Florida because Trump has increased his lead to 400,000 votes now in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, if Trump wins Florida by 500,000 votes and Nate Silver, Shri Nate Silver,
2006. Yeah.
Predicted Biden to win by 2. और उसने पता है क्या किया था? He said, let's assume with 3% polling error, what way it will go. His 3% polling error for Trump also said Trump will only win this by 0.5% of the vote. Trump is actually ahead of his error. His error margin was 3. He's at 4% now.
Yeah.
This is just unbelievable.
So here's a question for you from Ayush Singh Abhijit. Abhijit, what is your thought on mail-in ballots? Don't you think Dems will drag it out because a couple of mayors said it may take them 2 weeks to go through all of the ballots post-election day?
Yes, but see, the issue here is the margins are so great. There's nothing the mail-in ballots can actually change, number one. Number two, if you remember what happened with the George Bush election, George Bush Jr. election 1, the first election that George Bush Jr. won, the US Supreme Court held that the finality of the process was final. Do you remember that? That was what the entire this thing was about, Bush versus Gore.
Florida, basically, where it was decided by 537 votes.
By Florida. But it won't matter because, see, that was a precedent-setting judgment where now you have to come out once the state declares. The Supreme Court can force a state to declare then and there or based on votes because it has to come to a finality. That is the process.
Right.
Okay, the process can't be undermined because a state was lax in counting and things like that.
Right.
So if you apply the same Bush versus Gore judgment to this, they will not be able to drag it out. And remember, right now you have a conservative supermajority in the Supreme Court,
Right.
especially after Amy Barrett Comey went. So Ruth Bader replaced by Amy Barrett Comey, that just shifted even more Republican. So, and guess what? Remember, there are two people at least that I know that have a great virulent hatred for the Democrats because of what they were dragged through: Amy Comey Barrett and Kavanaugh. And there's two more who I remember, the older ones. I forget their names now, but they were all. And one, especially the black judge, I forget his name. He was personally slandered by Biden.
Clarence Thomas.
Biden led the entire slime campaign against him.
Yep.
Yeah, no. So, and here is where the Supreme Court is important, right? The Democrats don't actually value much importance in the Supreme Court, but Clarence Thomas also was a black judge appointed by senior Bush's father, right? So they tried to make it as a thing. Ultimately, what they could not digest was that an African American judge was appointed by senior Bush. And what's interesting, Abhijit, is Florida 2000 was also won on the back of Cuban American votes. Because they are the Latinos. They were 45% in favor of Bush. And see, people forget, 2004 election was won by Ohio for Bush, but Florida, he had a consistent 5% lead, and no president has had that amount of lead till Mr. Trump came and threw out all the pollsters.
Yeah. It is funny, and what's even funnier to me is that, Abhijit, that people are having such a hard time believing it. This is like a comedian who became very famous for like posting like Trump TikToks on TikTok, and then she got her own Netflix special out of it, and she's like, he spent 4 years golfing and people are still voting for him. I will never understand it. And that's why he's winning, because he just don't understand how the country is working anymore. I think
Guys, I have some very interesting news from Pennsylvania.
Go ahead.
Lead went up by 16.5%, and it's almost 700,000 votes now.
Wow. So
And what's more is we are not getting more numbers from Arizona. It's almost stagnated. So Arizona is still the lead. It's still showing as 7%. But I still think it is too close to call, because the lead is only 200,000 votes, and 25% of Arizona is still to report.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that will change though.
No, I mean, most likely it will go to Biden, but I'm saying it won't be such a big margin. The margins might come a little closer. So, Maine, they have still not called. Look at Maine. That is the most.
Maine hasn't moved much, right? It was on 44.
Maine is still only stuck at 47. They haven't moved past 47% counted.
They haven't moved at all.
And Nevada is not reporting beyond the 1% counted. I don't know what the hell is happening out there.
Mail-in ballots are being reported or something, but basically in about 30 minutes, 12 o'clock, you have the biggest dump on election night. Usually the winner is called by this time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not by 12, but by 1 o'clock, like last time was an anomaly, but by 11 or 12, you would know who's the winner and they would make the calls and stuff. But ye to lagta hai kal tak chalega.
What do you think?
I suspect. Look, I think kal tak chalega only because they're refusing to call North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Texas, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. If they call them now, and by any stretch of the imagination, they have to be called now because the lead is now unassailable.
Wisconsin, it is assailable because of the mail-in ballot. So Wisconsin, I understand why they are not, because the mail-in ballots will be counted tomorrow morning. But I agree with you on Texas, Florida, Georgia. It makes no sense why they are not called.
Yeah, and North Carolina has a pretty big lead.
North Carolina, it's less than 100,000 votes. But these guys are, Texas and Florida together are more than 1 million votes.
That's true. That's true.
Now, even if you change Wisconsin to blue, assume, right? You're still looking at Trump getting 284 electoral college seats.
Look at Georgia. New York Times is still saying tilting Biden. How the hell is it tilting Biden?
I don't know. I don't know. The lead is so huge with 81% counted. How are you saying tilting Biden?
Yeah. If Joe Biden wins one of these three states, he's likely to win the presidency, and they're showing Georgia is for Biden, which I'm not entirely sure where they're getting it from.
No, the only county where Biden can pick up a huge chunk of votes is DeKalb County near Atlanta, which is only 31% counted now. But if you look at the other Republican sort of counties or something, there are a few that are about 20-25% counted or something like that. So
welcome to the party.
I think Georgia, this is where the chaps can play dirty.
Yeah.
If they might just be counting certain districts so that there will be a sudden bump up for Biden.
Yeah.
And then what they'll do is, like the Florida governor did in Bush versus Gore, they will just declare for Biden without completing the count. Because, see, this can also play out that way.
Right.
I think the Georgia governor is a Democrat, yes?
Not sure about that.
I don't have a clue.
But regardless of that, no, the Georgia governor Brankamp is still. He's a Republican.
Okay.
Republican, no. So that there's no worry of that happening in Georgia.
Check out TYT Chunk is having a meltdown. Oh, that's amazing.
But here is the thing, Abhijit. I think.
अरे कुशल आ गया. Hi Kushal.
Yeah. Hi Kushal. वो कुछ बोल नहीं रहा है. मतलब Kushal is in shock that Kamlaji is not going to be the next vice president of US.
Kushal, see,
I just have one comment to make. There is a new book that's going to be written, How the Latinos Became White.
No, how the Cubans are not Latinos. My friend, Latinos Became White is the sequel after next election.
Yeah.
The first part is why Latinos and Cubans. I mean...
Are, did you read the tweets of that Nicole Hannah Jones? Did you read her tweet series?
The one about the Latinos, right?
Sham, I'll be just back in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So this is that typical mindset, right? These people have these left wingers. So I don't know if you've read this book. There's a very famous book. I'm sure Abhijit must have heard of it. It's by Noel Ignatieff. It is called How the Irish Became White. It's about the struggle of the Irish folks, how they were actually discriminated against, and then they became white. So I think we should make the
Italians started coming.
Yeah, exactly. When the slightly darker shade started coming in.
But they were still whiter than the Italians, see?
Yes.
So I remember saying this to my Irish friend who had no clue there was a book like this. He just looked at himself. He's like, I'm pretty white. That was so funny. So I think it's time we officially see Indians ne to jitna mere ko bhi tak whatever I've heard, I think Indian community ne to dhoka de diya hai Biden chacha ko.
In
some areas.
That's what Aadit was saying in Texas, where I think where there was a Democrat and Republican running, and usually the Indians overwhelmingly vote Democrat. The vote got pretty split this year.
Yeah.
Where a lot of Indians apparently went and voted for the Republican.
So can we say Dolan Trump is winning?
Yes,
It's hard. Abhijit ke paas to ask what Abhijit is carrying. Abhijit is ready to go. Abhijit is already ready to celebrate.
I'm calling this. I'm saying between 284 to 294 for Trump in the Electoral College. Okay?
Yeah.
So definitely, here's my question. So let's assume that what is the PA lead right now? I think it's 500,000 votes, right? Even right now, it's holding to 500,000 votes.
Yeah.
So the mail ballots that are going to be counted till Friday are just 300,000, if I remember correctly.
No, see, it's right now the Pennsylvania lead is about over 500,000. It's actually 650,000. and 650,000, but only 61% has been counted so far.
Can we just comment on America and their system of counting votes? I mean, we have a population that is 3 times their size. We do a darn good job in our elections.
We do. We do. It doesn't take this long. You know the results within by the afternoon. You know the results.
Yeah,
It
we
takes
know
about
what trend by the afternoon, but by 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening, we know who's definitively won. The entire counting is done by 7 or 8 in the evening, usually.
No, by 7 or 8, it is formally confirmed. We know the contours by about 12:30, 1. By 1:30, the election is basically over.
Yeah, but isn't this pathetic? What kind of a country is America?
अमेरिका में गिर जाते हैं बैठ के.
अरे यार, they मतलब फ्राइडे तक काउंटिंग कर रहे हैं, क्या पागल लोग हैं?
I have no idea why they're going to be. Yeah, I mean, I think mail in causes the problem, and depends on how close it is. The Biden's
this is what
Minnesota,
amazes
apparently.
me. I remember at the first sci-fi that ORF hosted, the Estonian president had come to address it. And he cast his vote in front of the audience sitting at Oberoi in New Delhi at the local council elections back in Estonia. Okay. And that was very significant because you have a personalized code and a personalized entry and a personalized password.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering why you have to do this entire tamasha in America when all you have to do is give a personalized password to everybody for their social security number and just get them to vote wherever the hell they are. Again, it's this lack of electoral reforms which worries me.
Yeah.
You can, I agree, the way we are all mediated, we're not democracies in that sense, we're republics, we're mediated democracies. And in America, the mediation, in India, it was economic power goes to the cities, political power goes to the villages. In America, it was 50-50, rural 50, urban 50. But what we're seeing is that's fine. Even without doing that, can't you make the election processes more efficient? And they're not even doing that.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's. Oh, here we go. I got the CNN one open here as well. Let's have a look at what CNN is doing. So apparently, I saw on Times of India that Biden has won Minnesota, which should not surprise anybody. But here we are.
What do you expect from a jihadi county?
Kaha gaya? I don't know. It disappeared somewhere. We had it right here, but it disappeared. So, according to Times of India, Biden's won Minnesota. Virginia has been declared, as far as I can see, for according to CNN at least. CNN has declared Virginia for.
Hey,
Biden.
guys, are you seeing Virginia? Virginia's gone back to Trump.
Oh, wait, it has. Wait, it has to.
Holy shit.
Wait. What the fuck is going on here?
What the hell just happened there?
Wait, I think it
EVM
has.
fraud. EVM fraud.
EVM fraud. EVM machine fail ho gayi.
We had written off Virginia. We just wrote off Virginia an hour back and it's flipped again.
We wrote off Virginia because it was like a what? It was like a 5 or 7 point lead or
The
something
moment
like that.
Fairfax started, look at Fairfax County. Donald Trump is bloody close to Biden in Fairfax. He's just trailing by about what?
Close.
No, are you guys sure? Virginia, यहाँ पे मैं Google पे देख रहा हूँ. It shows Biden leads by a fair margin.
I'm looking on the New York Times website that has the latest numbers. At least I think they have the latest numbers. Let me check the.
I'm looking at the Google ticker.
So
live election results.
Yeah, you look at the CNN as well. Even on CNN, Trump is ahead by like 20,000 votes.
Oh.
Yeah, Trump is ahead by.
Sad song. Please play a sad song.
I know. If I play a sad song, then this channel will get demonetized because YouTube doesn't like people having fun.
You look at the rural areas; they're completely compensating for the urban areas, because the exact margin by which Biden is winning in the urban areas, Richmond, Roanoke, Norfolk, and Alexandria,
Mhm.
Fairfax, basically Arlington, that part of Washington D.C.,
Mhm.
you're seeing Trump win by much heavier margins on the borders to West Virginia.
Yep. Yeah, you look at Richmond City, and then you look at like around it. You look at Hanover. You look at what's this one? New. Where did that one?
So
There's
with
another one that was running.
85, with
Chesterfield.
80% of the vote counted,
Yeah.
Trump now has a 25,000 lead.
Yep. With 80% of
That's
the vote.
remarkable.
That's crazy. So basically, this is a lot closer than I thought it would be. Oh, by the way, Abhijit, guess what?
Yeah.
We have more live viewers than Barkada.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't know if this is true or not.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
Apparently, we have more
around-
viewers.
News
than
bureau.
Barkada.
No problem.
I'm not surprised. बरखा का कौन सा चैनल है उसकी वेबसाइट
I have no idea what she's on. Can we? Oh, Kushal, I forgot to show you. So, logos non grata est said, Can we get any info at Kamala Pasand Effect?" I was going to show you something, Kushal. So, in anticipation of, where did it go? In anticipation of Kamala Harris winning, I was ready to rebrand the channel.
I just want to point out. I just want to point out something that's happening in Fairfax.
Yes, let's go back.
Only 28% has been counted in Fairfax, and Biden has a lead of about 14,000 votes in Fairfax County.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, even if this lead sort of holds,
Hmm.
I don't think right now it's enough to negate the overall because see, this is a trend. It's actually much closer. I would have been happier. I mean, had I been a Biden supporter,
Hmm.
I would have been happier. You look at the margins that happen around Alexandria, say in Prince William County or Loudoun County,
Yeah.
it's completely skewed. It's much less skewed in Fairfax.
Yeah.
And that
Yes.
is what is surprising. And remember, Loudoun and Prince William, which have voted, they've been counted almost 90% plus. One is 98%, one is 94%. So realistically, the only thing we're holding out on now is Fairfax County, where the lead isn't that much. I think Virginia will be the big surprise then.
Yeah,
That could
another
well be,
interesting
man.
thing is CNN finally just called Florida for Trump, and
Oh, good luck.
about time.
ओ एक मिनट
Well done.
आंसू निकाल अपनी आंखों से
खुशी के दुख के कैसे निकालू या प्यास के अभी लेके आके
नहीं these are apolitical tears.
Pushpa hate apolitical tears.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
Florida has finally been given. Oh, South Carolina has been given finally. Wait, was it South or North that we were waiting for? We were waiting for North.
North was the one we were waiting on.
North is what we're waiting for. Yeah, we're waiting for Georgia, where 81% is done. 95% done in North Carolina. What's the gap still? It's still a small gap, but it's still a small gap. Dude, look at
So
this.
in Delaware,
Yeah.
it's quite surprising. In Delaware, one of the counties is verging Republican. It's Wilmington that's carrying Biden.
Yes.
Yeah.
Delaware, Maryland's Biden's got a big one. Yeah. Arizona has also stopped. Arizona has not moved at all. Have you noticed?
Okay,
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I'm going to put my neck on the line. I think Trump's going to win this one.
It's looking that
I'd
way.
already declared, Baba.
Yeah, he declared from the get-go. He came with his banner and everything. He was ready.
Actually, मुझे याद है मेरी और अभिजीत की बात हो रही थी. I think only Abhijit and I were the confident ones even before this whole thing. हम लोग तो कितने दिन से मैं और अभी बोल रहे थे ट्रम्प
I
जीतने
don't
वाला
know
है.
shit. I didn't know anything. I had no idea.
Look, they call that
I was
there is a
busy
sly
listening to
Tory
this.
effect. Now we can definitely call it there is a sly Trump voter. There is a shy Trump voter, like there is a shy Tory. Like in
So that's
British
what got me
politics, they
out.
clearly call it a shy Tory,
So
right?
about 3-4 months ago, and like I have friends who are Democrats, right, or who were shocked that Trump could even win to come to power, and that's what I was saying, that the silent Trump voter is what you have to be the most scared of if you are a Democrat, because they are not going to say what they are going to do on the polls, because you've made it almost an anathema to support Trump. Now, oh, how the hell can you support
Exactly.
Trump? And I personally have a lot of problems with Trump and with Biden. But the problem is you can't have an honest discussion anywhere. I cannot tell you, if I go out and have a discussion with anyone at, kahin pe bhi, they are going to be like, oh, how can you say this? Because XYZ said this.
Yeah. So this is Wisconsin with 71% cast, and he has a just over 100,000, 120 or something in Wisconsin. The Wisconsin's close. Michigan's pretty big lead, and Pennsylvania is still going strong. So yeah, I think if Michigan and Pennsylvania are done, that could be big. So I wonder who gets it. Who gets it. Fox News had also, so by the way, another little update there, Abhijit. Fox News had also declared Arizona for Biden, but then they retracted it. I don't know if I told you, but
they retracted it.
Yeah, they declared it. They retracted it. They declared it for Biden.
What is happening in Arizona? I don't know what is happening. Something is happening in Arizona.
Yeah.
By the way,
What is
Nevada,
happening in Arizona, I think
Nevada
all these
has
liberals are
increased
leaving
2%.
California and going to Arizona.
Yeah.
Nevada has increased to 2%, and it's still 75% for Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does it say? Where is yeah. I don't know what's going on with I don't know what's really going on with Arizona. Let me see if I can find out anything about Arizona. Let's see here. I don't know what Fox is doing. Arizona is still in play. Huh. Oh, so apparently they're going back and forth. So they removed it and then they put it back on. So they removed Arizona for Biden and then they put back on Arizona for Biden. So now nobody really knows what the hell's going on. Yeah, I don't know what's really going on. Arizona. Interesting. Let's take a couple of questions. Do we have any questions? I'm sure we do. Let us take a couple of questions while we...
So one thing...
yes, go ahead, Aadit, while I'll look for the questions.
Yeah, I went on mute because I was listening to Joe Biden's statement. He just came out to make a statement, public statement, that basically he's not conceding and that the election is still close or something like that, and keep up the enthusiasm. It's a long way, sort of things. So it's very interesting. And like I said, right, at 12 o'clock is when usually the races get declared. So you have the concession speech and stuff. But yeah, he came out and said, and Joe Biden is that old school politician who is used to getting the election results or calling the candidate.
Yeah, right on the same day.
But so by the way, I was down when I was down getting my coffee. I was watching the CNN projections. There were Pennsylvania is still 16%. Arizona has not reported a single vote in the last one hour or so. I don't know.
Yeah, which is very surprising.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on there.
And neither has Nevada.
Is it still at 1%?
I think after Abhijit said that a Trump wave is engulfing Nevada, they just got scared and stopped.
Nevada is at 3%, and Trump is at 76.3%.
Yes.
At 3% in Nevada. So Prateek has a question. So anybody can take it. It has reason for Trump losing Arizona. Interestingly, in 2012 electoral map, you can see that Obama won Wisconsin, Michigan, Florida, and Pennsylvania. And Trump's looking like he could win them. So why? Any particular reason for Trump losing Arizona? Is it? Do you think, Aadit, like you were saying, that it's because of the way he went after McCain?
No, Arizona, yes. He went after McCain in a bad way. Also, Arizona, the COVID impacts were significant. So a lot of seniors voted. And what is interesting is that there is a county, I forget the name, Maricopa County or something, near Phoenix, basically. That's where Trump actually won. And that's where he's losing by almost 10, 15 points. So, yeah, and they had a very unpopular senator who is likely to get outvoted, who sort of replaced John McCain, and John McCain's wife was campaigning severely against Trump. So, and I personally think Trump got that wrong. I think he shouldn't have gone after John McCain the way he did. John McCain is this old school conservative, right of center politician sort of thing.
And he's a veteran. You don't go after veterans in America.
He was going through a terrible phase with his lung cancer and everything, and he just went a little ballistic and went a little too personal.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think tactically it was wrong, but I think we should also acknowledge that ever since McCain lost his presidential election to who did he lose it to? Barack Obama.
Yeah.
He turned into an A-grade prick. And I think the general consensus is that he was always an A-grade prick who just hid it very carefully in the public, from the public eye. But a lot of people that I used to speak to, because I used to really like him, always were like, why are you supporting him? He's actually a dick. So, I think I agree with Aadit. I don't think it was that necessary. I think the issue there was that McCain, his daughter, all of them, the son, they were all attacking Trump left, right, and center. McCain himself was attacking Trump left, right, and center.
Yeah.
Right. So I think at some point we have to do this cost benefit. Was it worthwhile pushing back, or should you have just taken it on the chin?
Yeah.
I think Arizona would have voted Trump irrespective. So I personally don't think Trump lost that many votes as he probably saved.
Right.
But he did lose some.
It's still, Aadit, you'll be surprised to know it's still tilting 67% Biden for the New York Times, that ticker thing in Georgia. It's still...
They are thinking that the DeKalb County votes, where Atlanta is and around, is going to. They think they're going to swing it in favor of Biden because Atlanta is primarily Democratic. But I don't know. It just seems.
Look, there's just not enough votes in DeKalb left to swing it anymore.
Yeah. So I don't know what is going to happen. Also, the mail-in ballots, I don't know how many percent of mail-in ballots have been reported. But I think even Georgia has stopped reporting, right? I mean, it's still at 81%.
I haven't seen anything being reported from Georgia for a while. It was at 80% and it's like at 81% now. I haven't really seen anything other being done. So you're talking about. So let's look at the map here. So if you're looking at the map on CNN, so this is what you're talking about, the DeKalb.
Right.
So that's like what? He has an 80,000 vote lead there.
Yeah, but that's only 30% of the votes has been reported. So that is what they are banking on will change. And Trump only has the Floyd County, which does not have many votes, like total. And if you look at the absentee, Fulton County, the absentee ballot, that's the main thing. The absentee is almost half and half, and they think that he's going to run the table with the absentee ballots.
Biden is or Trump?
Biden is. That's what they're. Okay. So, because if you look at all the Cobb County, all the counties, the absentee ballots are like quite a few. So that is what they're thinking. Now, how much will that be? No one knows right now.
Yeah.
But Biden's statement certainly seems to be that he's banking that he's going to run the table on the absentee ballot.
So basically, what he's saying is that he's also more or less expecting the result not to be declared tonight.
Right.
So, can we declare Nate Silver to be the Arun Giri?
Arun Giri. Yeah.
We've already given him a name, Baba. He's Nate Bronze. He was Nate Gold. He came down to Nate Silver. Now he's become Nate Bronze.
Nate Tamba.
I think he should be called the Arun Giri of America. थोड़ा अपने अरुण भाई का भी famous करो ना.
Yeah.
True.
Siddharth Shukla.
Arungiri
Trump
was
has-
saying that Biden was going to win, nah?
Yeah.
He was not saying Biden will win. He was saying something like, "We are with you, Joe." I mean,
We are with you, Joe.
Ah,
it was something
Joe,
like
तुम आगे बढ़ो, हम तुम्हारे साथ हैं. Like that. Joe, तुम आगे बढ़ो. Look, Kushal, here's a super chat. Trump has already declared victory on Twitter. My brother is in Jersey and they are expecting riots. Like, can you? And these riots are only from one side. Like I was
Yeah.
talking to Abhijit about this earlier as well. That all the shops that are being boarded up, they're not being boarded up in small town America. All the shops that are being boarded up, they're being boarded up in New York. They're being boarded up in Beverly Hills. They're being boarded up in Seattle. So it's quite an indictment, and it's quite interesting. Giri, it's quite interesting that one side is so naturally expected to riot, and instead of like calling that out, all these cities are doing are just telling their businesses to board up their shops and brace for impact, essentially.
And the more they do it, the more people either they'll leave the cities or they'll turn Republican, because nobody likes bad law and order.
A
I
lot
mean,
of large
we have
cities
learned
in the
this
Midwest,
from,
by the way, are losing people annually.
yeah, and we learn this in every country in the world, that leaders that are good in law and order will always get voted in. People like stable societies. Human beings don't like rioting all the time. But it's amazing, right? These people genuinely live in a bubble. They live in their unique bubble where they don't care about what's happening, what is really being told. They just are in their own bubble.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. Did we have another question? Abhijit, has Trump made inroads in New York in terms of vote percentage, and how much has Modi's trip to USA impacted the mindset of Indian Americans to vote for Trump, or let's say vote Republican? Or do you think
sorry,
has it made?
question again. Has Trump made inroads in New York in terms of vote percentage, and also how much has Modi's trip? Look, that's impossible to actually say without the post-election statistics of the Indian Americans. I don't know, Adit, probably you're the best person to answer. I somehow feel that his victory margin in New York last time was his defeat margin was greater than last time. I think he's improved his standing in New York.
right.
Could you check, Adit, with the previous year?
I can check, but in terms of the Indian, I'll just come to the Indian American questions first, and then I'll come back to New York in one point. The Indian American vote percentage for Republicans is more likely to be seen in local races compared to national races, because and I'll give you the example of the Texas 22nd, and there are a few other races going on where the Republicans, the vote split between them is like probably 10%, 5% or something, and Indian Americans constitute 20%
Yeah.
of the district. So that is where the effect will happen. Nationally, I don't think Indian Americans are that much in number to impact a race. They can only impact a race like a 2000 in Florida, where the race is being, or 2016 in Wisconsin and Michigan, where the race is like 30,000 votes apart, and then you have the 150,000 Indian Americans coming into play. Ki kahan wo log gaye,
Yeah.
So that is, I personally don't think nationally they have impacted that much.
Dude, how crazy
No,
is
no,
it?
I just want
go
to,
ahead,
I
go
just
ahead,
have a
Kushal.
question. Yeah, so I just want to see, I like to see Indians arguing and fighting even when they are in America. So why is this lopsided vote percentage in favor of Democrats? We should have fights in Indian households in America too, just as we have it in India. So let us hope and pray that that percentage of 15% Republican or 10% Republican vote goes up to 30% this time. And we have fights of Indians fighting in America too, where बाप बेटा is जैसे इंडिया में वो न्यूज आती थी ना कि बेटे ने बाप को लॉक कर दिया, वो बीजेपी और मोदी के लिए वोट करने वाला था. I'm waiting for those stories to pop up in America.
Something interesting. Arizona has just put out some new figures. I think they've now gone up to 78%, and from 209,000 lead that Biden had, it's down to 186,000 now.
Wow. So it's closing in.
It's closing in. It's
So where is
closing in.
this? Where is this? Sorry, I missed that. Where is this? Arizona. Oh, so Arizona is closing in.
Yeah.
Oh, 78% declared. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, still,
Remember when we last checked,
still
it
a
was
pretty big lead.
71%. Now it's gone up to 78.
Yeah.
And the lead has come down. Not enough. I'm still going to say Biden's going to take it, but it's come down.
So, Abhijit, to answer your question about New York, yes, Trump has actually gone up 4% in New York compared to last time. He was 36.5, and now he's close to about 40.2%.
Yeah.
And
Gone up,
if
yeah.
you if the state of New York, I mean, and then if you count, he's already actually gotten the votes he got last time in the New York, just amongst the ones counted, and about 18% are still to go. So he's more likely than not going to surpass what he got in New York, and I would like to think he would surpass last year's tally in California also, which is what we're seeing, that the popular vote is a lot narrower this time than it was before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we
Twitter has
go.
just restricted Trump's latest tweet, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that when he was saying that they're winning or something. So here's Aadit. Here's basically why that needle turned blue in Georgia. So New York Times is saying that we got enough vote out of the Atlanta area to realize that it was going to be really good for Biden, and there's a lot of vote left there. Another reason the needle has Biden edging ahead in Georgia. For a while, it was taking cues from trends in North Carolina and Florida. Now that they've seen enough voting in the Atlanta area to make sure to know that it's leaning Biden. So that is why. So that's an interesting one.
If Georgia goes blue, Trump cannot be the president.
Yes,
Even
that's what I'm thinking.
There is no way he can compensate that with anything else, because
what else is there really?
Because I think Wisconsin, more likely than not, given the race, how the race is tightening, and tomorrow there are going to open about more than 1.8 million mail-in ballots. Wisconsin, which tend to go Democratic, unless some miracle happens. But even if Biden wins Georgia, this is going to be the narrowest presidency ever. Like the closest. That's why I'm saying this is probably going to be the Bush 2000 election. And another thing you don't have to rule out is, what if the margins get to about 10 or 20%? Then you are looking at, or not 10 or 20%. I meant like 10 or 20,000 votes. Then you're looking at the Supreme Court's coming into play.
Adit, what had you said? कहाँ पे 1.2 million mail-in ballots हैं? Georgia में.
Wisconsin.
1.8, yeah,
1.8 million.
Yeah, something I forget but it's close to that number of mail-in ballots.
But see, it's saying 72% counted, so the balance can't be that much. Because the 2% includes the mail-in.
Yeah, you may be right. I may have just looked at another sort of statistic or something. Maybe the total absentee ballot might be 1.8, or uska ek percentage could be mail-in, and dusra percentage could be something else. Like, because in Texas they also had drive-through voting, so they might be just counting it all with the same.
Oh, right, that's correct.
So yeah, I don't know. But one interesting thing is, in Pennsylvania and Michigan, only 16 and 20% of the early votes have been counted.
Yes.
Where in Michigan and
Pennsylvania?
Right.
Okay, so here we go. So here we are with Georgia. So remember the needle that I was talking about?
Yeah.
With this, shut up, CNN. So that earlier I was talking to you about Aadit, that needle thing. So if you look at the needle earlier, it was at around 71% Biden, and it was around 0.8, 0.6 Biden. Now it's 0.2 Biden and 57%.
And North Carolina is Trump. I think we can.
North Carolina is probably done.
Yeah.
I think we could probably declare that. Yeah.
North Carolina quite some time back. Now somebody's declared. New York Times has declared Florida, but they're not declaring Texas.
Abhijit, can I tell you fun thing that has just happened? The difference between Virginia between Trump and Biden is now less than 10,000 votes.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on there?
Biden has overtaken Trump again.
Again?
No, but 10,000 votes. Just 10,000 votes.
Yeah, he has by 10,000 votes. Damn.
Maine has tightened up.
Such a close state, man.
No, look at Maine, Sham. Look. It has also
Maine's like 20,000 as well.
no, yeah, 20,000. Yeah, so it's not Biden is not widening the gap. That is why they are not able to call the state.
Yeah. Damn, that's close. That is close. Yeah, Georgia is the big one now, right? Georgia will decide where this goes, kind of. Because we were thinking Pennsylvania will decide where this goes. But Pennsylvania is looking pretty solid for Trump at the moment.
Yeah, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
But
अरे थोड़ा early तो नहीं कर दिया prediction अभिजीत. थोड़ा early तो नहीं बोल दिया.
इसमें prediction कर ही नहीं सकते. It looked likely for Trump, but because it is so crazy. I mean, I think and I think for after till about 12 hours, but we have to understand one thing.
Yeah.
Whatever the trends were about it being a close election, it being a blowout, it being all those are gone. It is going to be decided by a margin of 100,000 to 200,000 votes.
Yeah.
In a few states.
Yeah. I do think so. Yeah, I do think so. And at the very least, these bloody model makers need to find a new occupation or need to find new models.
Or they need to just drink and click on the states which they find and just declare the votes.
Yeah. Nate Silver भाई लोगों को कुछ और करना पड़ेगा अब अपनी लाइफ के साथ.
And I want to, another thing, I don't think they've called who wins the house.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Or the Senate races. So there could be a chance that there could be a very close House majority with a Biden presidency or a Trump presidency.
Yeah, either way. Or it could be Trump presidency with like Democratic House majority, right? That's possible.
So I'll have to get going, Sham. If you guys are still on, I'll probably join in a little later, but I'll have to get going, have a couple of commitments, but I'll catch you guys on YouTube. Are you guys still on or logging off soon?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll carry on for a little bit and we'll see.
Maybe if I get done, join in, but it's been a pleasure and we'll do this.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Maybe we'll do a post-election analysis a week after. And
we can probably do one of those.
That'll be even more fun. And instead of coffee, we can get a glass of wine or something. I think Abhijit is on mute. I can't
Abhijit, are you on mute? We can't hear you.
He's enthusiastically saying something, but I can't
hear the workload will fall on you. But can you do a montage of liberal meltdowns? Or let's
if it happens, I will do it.
Let's ask Mark Dice if he let us play his video because he makes the best meltdown videos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who does?
Mark Dice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll have to find Mark Dice in his video.
Compile a set
definitely. Definitely. If this happens, then definitely there's one coming out next week.
Perfect. All right, guys. I'll take off. Thanks
for coming on, Aadit. This was fun.
Oh, pleasure.
Thanks, Aadit.
And let's see. Kal kya hota hai?
Yeah, let's see.
Kal ho na ho.
Kal ho na ho.
In the words of the great Ravi Shastri, democracy jeetegi.
Like a tracer bullet, my friend.
I'd say Aadit.
I really like this New York Times headline. New Hampshire gives Biden first swing state win. Tell me by what imagine New Hampshire is swing.
Yeah. I think they're probably saying it because I think Trump did try to campaign there a fair bit, but it was not because it was a swing state. It was because he was trying to take a Democratic state, basically.
Yeah.
He was trying to take an extremely blue state. Yeah. I don't know. What are you thinking? When do you think we're gonna get close? I think this is something that'll most likely go on all night.
Especially with notice something with regard to the popular vote. For a while, Biden's lead had gone up to almost 2 million. Then it came down to 1.8 million.
Yeah.
Now it is down to 1.3 million.
Yes. It's coming down.
That's also interesting. And this is in spite of California and New York.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, man. California, 55 freaking votes. Like, this is such a great state to win. And it's such a write-in for bloody
and it's so
Democrats.
sad that in spite of all of that, if you win California, you essentially alienate most of the rest of America.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So the
true.
cost of California, I think somebody is going to have to do a cost benefit analysis and see, is California even worth winning?
Winning California even worth it?
Did Trump even go campaign in California?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he
Yeah.
did. He was in the Midwest a lot. So one would
Yeah.
hope that the Midwest. See, Iowa's done. Iowa, Trump won.
Iowa
Trump
won,
was
declared.
yeah. Iowa one's been declared. So Trump won. So this was again somewhere where Trump was trailing pretty heavily Biden, and then he wins it. Missouri, he's won. Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, finally done. Georgia, that's the one. Georgia and Pennsylvania. That's where we're at. Michigan's still looking good. Look at Michigan. Michigan's still looking good.
Georgia is also done deal, boss. At 85% votes counted, you can't now assail that kind of a lead in Georgia anymore. Also, North Carolina is, as far as I'm concerned, it's done deal. 95%, you can't improve on that anymore. So I'm wondering where this voting this
Yeah,
thing
like
is.
look at so if you're looking at the screen, Abhijit, the screen that I'm sharing, look at around Atlanta, okay? So you have DeKalb, where obviously Biden's got a pretty strong lead, where
Yeah.
only 39% have been counted in DeKalb. So that he might extend his lead there. But if you look at the other ones around Atlanta, like you look at Fulton, okay, Fulton also. So DeKalb and Fulton, he's got a big one. But some of the other ones
Yeah.
are not that big, like 72-47, 29-23, 191, 141. It's not that 186, 144. It's not
Yeah.
that huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. That margin is not that huge. So
Absolutely.
yeah, they haven't counted all of the votes there, but like Trump's still getting plenty of votes there too.
I'm
Like, even in
just
the states that he is not
continually
winning,
amused
he's
that
getting
they're
plenty of votes.
refusing to declare Texas.
Yeah, even CNN hasn't declared Texas yet.
Yeah.
I think they
They have?
have. Google has. I think Google has. Let me check. Yeah, Google has
Oh,
declared
Google
Texas
declared
for
it.
Trump. Yeah, Google is showing 212 for Donald Trump and 223 Joe
Sala,
Biden.
Google declared it, but New York Times and CNN won't declare it. Okay. Oh yeah, Google did declare it. You're right. So Google declared it. This is so basically, which means that Associated Press declared it, right? Yeah. So
Where is
Associated.
Google declaring all this stuff? I can't
So let
see
me
where
let me
Google's
show you.
declaring
I'll
it.
share the screen with you, so you'll be able to see, Abhijit. So there it is. So there's basically Texas has been reported for Trump with 5.5 million votes, way more than almost 600,000 votes more than Biden. So yeah, Georgia was still waiting on. Yeah, look, dude, it's 87% reported. Okay, 87% reported with
Trump is ahead.
250,000
Where?
votes.
Where?
Yeah.
Georgia.
Georgia,
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
at Georgia. 250,000 votes. Trump is ahead.
Yep.
What's up with Nevada?
Atlanta, like you said, DeKalb is. I don't think DeKalb can make up for this because 250,000 ahead is not very easy to make up.
Yes. Let's see what that needle is saying. Needle's still Biden. Needle is still going for Biden. I'm not entirely sure. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure what they're basing it on, but they're probably basing it on a bunch of like that. They're probably basing it on the fact that like 10% of those uncounted 13% are probably for Biden or something like that.
Yeah. Look, I think Pennsylvania, even though it's 65% counted, there's nothing you can do to wipe out this kind of a margin.
No,
It's
you
like
can't. Doubt it.
it's almost 700,000 votes now, dude.
Yeah,
like
I doubt
no way he's going to make it up. Michigan again is like what, 300,000?
Yeah, that's a big lead.
That's too big a lead, even with 59%. 100,000, yes. 150,000, yes. But when it's 300,000, it's a trend, right?
Yeah.
And
That's what I'm feeling about
Wisconsin,
Wisconsin. Like Wisconsin is not that big of a lead. Wisconsin's still a
it's
relatively
not
small
that
lead.
big of a lead, but look at the
Yeah.
number that's been counted. 74% counted.
Yeah.
With 74% counted, that then becomes a trend.
Yes.
Up
Yeah.
to 50%, it's
Wisconsin is 85% has been counted in Wisconsin.
Achha, so that's Google you're looking at. Yeah.
Google.
So on
okay.
Google, if you look at the Google one, which is Associated
Yeah,
Press,
yeah, yeah.
Associated Press is saying Wisconsin 85% reporting. Trump has a lead of pretty much just over 100,000. Just over 100,000, yeah.
Yeah.
No, still not a huge lead, but like 85%, man.
But 85%, you're not coming back from that, buddy. Georgia,
yeah, I don't know what he said about
Georgia is
the mail-in.
87%, and you're not coming back from a 250,000 lead. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
I think only thing that may be possible may be in North Carolina, which is, the lead is actually quite slender. It's about what,
Yes.
80,000, but 94% reporting. I would see a very, very, very slender hope out there, not high enough. But it turns out that in Virginia, Biden's taken a pretty damn big lead, 200,000.
Oh, he's back in Virginia. Yeah.
But look, I don't care because I'd already called Virginia for Biden. Remember, we did that about 2 hours back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think that's what they're projecting is probably, well, New York Times. That's what New York Times is projecting is what's probably going to happen in Georgia. Is that what they're projecting?
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. That what they're hoping.
No, this is from the Associated Press. This isn't from the New York Times. Yeah.
No,
Google
I
is
understand, but from CNN or something or from New York Times, what they're projecting with Georgia is that the 250,000 shortfall that they have in votes, that they'll make it up in like a quick spurt like they did in Virginia. Like suddenly Biden has like a 200,000 lead. That's what they're projecting in Georgia.
See how that happens even in DeKalb County.
Yeah.
Okay, because you look at the total numbers. If DeKalb County right now, if 40% is 150,000, it's tough, man. It's possible, maybe, but I'm not that. Because remember, a lot of other areas are showing. Yeah, I'm not seeing how that's possible.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, Kushal, who do you blame? Like if I'm not saying, I'm still saying maybe it'll be Biden, who knows, but if in case it is Trump, who do you have left to blame at this point? Like you blamed Russia, you blamed fascism, you've blamed white supremacists, and the biggest white supremacist in America, arguably probably Richard Spencer, he went and voted for Biden. So who are they going to blame?
So there was a tweet by someone. It's not left and right, red and blue. It's whiteness that is always to be blamed. So you're not going to blame anyone. You're just going to blame whiteness. It's just whiteness. So anybody who votes for Trump basically has a kind of, internalized whiteness, and they're just white people. And it's going to be, look, they just don't get it that, see, it's the same trend everywhere. You keep calling people blithering idiots and then expect them to vote for them.
Yeah.
Who are these people? Why are they so cut off from reality?
Yeah.
Look, Abhijit and I can call people idiots. We are not standing for elections.
Exactly.
Who are these people who think calling people idiots and then standing for elections was a good strategy?
Yeah.
You cannot do that. People are very sensitive. They're going to be like, "Tu vote mangne aaya ki gali dene hai?"
Yeah. Look at this. Check this out, Abhijit. Trump has won Zapata County, just north of the Rio Grande Valley along the border, by 6 points, 53% to 47%. Last two presidential elections were Clinton plus 33 and Obama plus 43. So that's a pretty big. I'd say that's a pretty big swing.
Dude, I
It
think
is.
that is a sweep for his economic policies.
Hmm. Yeah.
I think you have to give
You
him
know
credit where it's
amazing?
due.
Nevada, the Trump, even though it's only 5%,
Yeah.
it's holding. That 70%, 75% lead is kind of holding.
Yeah. Yeah. As is in, well, Arizona has barely, it's moved like 3% and it's still the same. So I'm guessing Arizona is not going to change. Well, I don't know though. I don't know what's going to happen with Arizona, to be honest. Has CNN declared it? Has anyone else declared it? No, nobody else has declared Arizona yet. It's only 79, so it makes sense, but there's hardly been any movement. Yeah, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. We were talking about. Oh crap! Oh, I didn't ask you, by the way. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead,
Check
Abhijit.
Maine. Maine is at 57%. I would have expected Biden to have a much bigger lead in Maine.
Maine is, well, he has a pretty big lead. He has just under 40,000. Oh wait,
Yeah, that's
yeah, it's
no
30, under 30,
under 30.
under 30.
That's not such a big lead if you look at it. I mean, given Maine, I would have expected it to be pure blue.
Yeah, I would. Well, yeah. Well, Susan Collins, that the Republican, she's very popular there. So I would expect there's a lot to do with her. But yeah, I would think Maine would be close. Maine's like the only one. There's like a sea of blue, and then there's Maine, and then there's Pennsylvania on the other side. It's like a sea of blue in the middle. By the way,
And
Yeah.
Trump did well in New Hampshire, by the way. Not
Did he?
bad at all. I think in all these places he's gotten more votes
Yeah.
than before.
he did last time. He
Yeah.
did in 2016, you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even right now, it's what is it? 1,400,000 is the difference in the popular vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not that far anymore. It's 219 Biden, 209 Trump.
Yeah.
Oh, Texas has finally been. We talked about Texas, right? Texas has been declared.
By who?
CNN's declared Texas.
Okay.
So CNN finally declared Texas, at least. Yeah, New York Times hasn't declared it, but at least CNN finally declared it. Yeah, so Biden's at 219, Trump's at 209 at this point. Let me just share the screen so people can see where we're at. Yeah, so Texas is gone. Texas is for Trump, so it's only 10
Do you
seats.
remember I just told you? Listen, this is important. Do you remember how I told you that Biden had opened up a huge lead over Trump in Virginia?
In Virginia? Yes.
Yeah. He's brought it down again to
Oh, dude,
10,000.
it's 10,000 again. What the hell's going on? What the hell's going on in Virginia?
What the hell? What the hell?
CNN gave it to Biden already. CNN's already given it to Biden. New York Times has already given it to Biden, but it's only
May
10,000.
go to Biden, but the very fact that it is so close.
It's really tight. It's
In
way
what
tighter than 2016.
Yeah.
Way tighter than 2016. That is funny. So
Oh,
we're
yeah.
at
New York Times is also called Texas.
Call Texas finally. Chalo. Welcome to the rest of the world, New York Times. Yeah, so
I'm waiting
209, 219. It is close. Nevada. So Nevada's like what? 6 electoral votes. Montana's 3. Yeah, it's these 4, man. It's these 4. I don't know when we'll get to see these 4, because these 4s are the only one left. Georgia,
So it's Georgia,
North
North
Carolina,
Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan,
and Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Even if you get rid of Wisconsin, let's say, if Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan go Trump, then it's done. It's finished.
I had
Over.
already given Wisconsin to this thing. Remember, I had called Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois for Biden.
Wait, you'd given Wisconsin to Biden?
Yeah, I'd given Minnesota. So let me just. Can I share my screen? No, I can't for some reason.
Which
But
what do you look? You can send it to me. You can private chat it to me, and I can share the link.
okay, so let
Yeah,
me just
send it
take a
to me.
screen.
Just send the link to me. Do you have a link?
But
Just
you
send me
won't
the
be
link.
able to see my.
Yeah, I'll open the link. What is it a link for?
See, it's the link to build your own map
Oh.
on CNN.
Oh.
So let me try this. Let me in the chat. Can I add? How do I add a attachment in the chat?
And
Abhijit, you have to choose share screen, and if it's an application window or a Chrome tab, that depends. If it's a tab, you have to choose tab, and if it's an application window, you have to choose an application window like an external.
Because
is he able to share his screen? Is he able to share his screen, Kushal?
Yeah. So the share screen will pop up. तेरे को अपनी बंद करनी पड़ेगी, उसकी आएगी, and then I can allow it.
Okay, go ahead. Try it out, Abhijit.
Choose the share screen.
What do? I go to the screen and then do right click, is it?
Just go on the share screen, click on the share screen button. Then are you sharing a tab?
Where is the share screen button? Oh yeah, share
अरे वो
screen.
माइक कैमरा के बाजू में है यार.
Okay, so share screen. Can you see it?
No, अभी तक मेरे को आया नहीं है. I have not received it. अगर मेरे को आता रहा तो I can allow it and put it on the.
I can see. 1 second. Can you see this now?
No, it's not come to me. It's not.
Okay.
No?
Because both Sham and I, we can allow the other guest screen to be shared.
Oh, I had no idea I could do that.
Yeah, मैं तो करता ही हूँ ना.
Chrome has lost.
You can do that though. You can probably do that, Kushal, because you are also like an admin. Abhijit is not an admin, so that's why he can't do it.
No. So an admin can share the screen of a guest also if they're
I
sharing.
had no idea you could do that.
Yeah, we can. I did it with Nikhil's dad, right? When I did his whole presentation, he was sharing it.
तत्व भूत से तेल लगा ले डाबर का डांस तो बनता है अब बनता है पर रिजल्ट तो आता है भाई.
Can you share this?
Yeah. अरे मैं तू कर रहा है कि मैं कर रहा हूँ?
Do it, Kushal. Do it.
Yeah. So this is it.
So see, this is how I've allocated my states.
Oh, you gave Wisconsin to okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you gave.
Yeah, actually, I agree with Abhijit. I think this is a fair number, Abhi. This is a fair number. I was also expecting somewhere around this.
That's so close.
Yeah.
That's so close.
No, I think I agree with Abhijit. This is pretty much the number I was thinking. By the way, have you seen the popular vote? Trump has gotten more votes himself than last time, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Already he's got, I don't know if already, but I think he's on course to get.
He's gotten around 62 million votes till now?
Yeah, something like that.
61. 61,200,000 almost. And so Biden's lead in the popular poll is slowly increasing. So Biden was at 1 million,
Actually coming down,
1.3, now he's at 1.5. So he was at 1.3, now he's at 1.5. So
oh no, you remember when I told you he was at 1.
He was at 1.9 at a point, yeah. He was like
and now he's come down to 1.5.
Yeah. So what happened was he went to 1.9, came down to 1.3, then went to 1.4, then went to 1.5. And now he's at a 1.5 lead. And these guys are still at 87. What's that?
1.4 lead.
Yeah. Oh, check this out. Black Lives Matter just tweeted. We need all votes counted. If Trump declares victory before this happened, BLM will take to the streets. Oh, what else is new, bro? What else will you do?
Terrorist organization.
What do they not need? What do they not need to take to the streets? Like,
see, these buggers, they just need a bahana now to riot all the time.
We'll take to the streets. We'll take to the streets. What else have you been doing? That's what you do.
It's actually, them going and saying, हम दंगे कर देंगे. तो और क्या कर रहा था अब तक?
साले इतने महीने से कर क्या रहे थे तुम लोग?
And look, this is quite a clear indictment of what the American people wanted. Yeah, just friggin' accept the election and move forward in life.
Yeah. So Michigan, this is from Yashar Ali from New York Magazine. He's saying Michigan election officials have told Fox News that they do not expect most of the votes to be counted until noon, which is a while from now, basically, which is tomorrow for you guys. No, is it? No, tonight for you guys. Yeah. It's nighttime Indian time. So they don't expect Michigan to be counted all the way. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, so I guess what we should do is maybe we can wrap it up today, and I don't know, maybe in the night we can pick it up again.
Maybe we could do that.
We can pick it up in the night. We can do a stream in the night, and we can pick it up again. I think in the next 7 or 8 hours, India के 9 बजे तक काफी clear हो चुका होगा.
Yeah.
We can do the Nagin dance then.
We can do the Nagin dance. What do you reckon, Abhijit? What are you feeling?
हाँ, मैं तो जरूर नागिन डांस करूंगी.
ठीक है.
Yeah.
Super over.
इसको लेके मैं नागिन डांस करूंगी.
Yeah, Trump को लेके, American flag को लेके.
See, now he's lying down like Mahavishnu, and this is like Adi Sesha. Na 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 na.
Oh man, dude.
Yeah, I think
it's look at Arizona really quick. Abhijit, Arizona is not that big of a lead anymore. It's like 100 and something thousand. It was a little bit bigger before, but now it's like 100 and something thousand.
Yeah, damn, it's come down.
Yeah, it's come down a little bit.
200,000.
It was almost 200,000. Yeah, now it's like 120,000.
160,000, around 162,000.
Is it right now?
It's 162,000. I don't think it's still enough. With 80% counted, I don't think I have much hope left from Arizona.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I stick with the map that I shared. I've given Arizona to this
Biden.
thing. But what is surprising me is Nevada, because I'd given off Nevada to
Trump,
Biden as well.
Oh.
And just sharing. Okay, just sharing my map again.
Okay, go ahead.
See. Share screen.
They're saying Nevada flipped.
No, I mean Google says Nevada is pretty much in Biden's hand.
Huh?
It's like a 60,000 vote lead.
Oh, Nevada 65% reporting. Weird.
Yeah, Biden's leading Nevada.
CNN hasn't reported at all on Nevada.
New York Times hasn't reported at all.
65% reporting. Biden 532,724 votes. Donald Trump 478,412 votes.
Oh, there you go. So that's Nevada. Oh, there you go. Okay, so show us your map again.
So this is my map. 1 second. Chrome tab, Electoral College.
Ye Begani Shadi mein Abdullah Diwana. Where is he? There's some guy here.
Yeah, this is my map.
Okay.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Okay, so you had given Nevada and Arizona to Biden already. But you had given Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia to Trump. So Georgia and North Carolina are the big ones at the moment, I think. Like wherever they go, the election goes, basically.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
I think agle 12 ghante mein it will be clear.
I think so.
I don't think it's going to get clear. That's the point.
You don't think in the next 12 hours it'll be clear?
No, I think it's going to head to another George Bush election.
Oh.
So you're talking about the absentee ballots creating a problem.
Yeah. I'm not seeing the Dems give up so easily.
Yeah.
They never
Yeah, I
do.
don't
I mean,
think
there's so many losers. Last time
Well,
they
they're
went on
gonna-
riots and whatnot.
Yeah, they're gonna fight tooth and nail.
Mm.
At least this one, because that what we were talking about earlier. Because losing this election means the entire edifice that they've built of race this, race that, this race, this rat. And now that if they lose the elections because the Latinos bloody went and voted for Trump, that's like their entire worldview completely collapses.
Even more than Latinos, I'm particularly curious to see how Black people voted for Trump.
Yeah.
I want to see if that prognostication of 7% the last time turning to 30% plus this time came true.
Even Indian
Kanye
Americans.
को
I'm
कितने
keen to
वोट
see
मिले
how they
शंभा?
vote. What's that?
Yeah, I
Kanye को
want to
कितने
see
वोट
how
मिले?
Indian Americans voted. If
Kanye
if
got like 1,000 plus.
huh?
He was
Sorry?
asking how many votes did Kanye get. I said Kanye got over 1,000.
Not bad.
Kanye get over 1,000 votes. That's pretty good.
Hmm.
Yeah, Trump should make him education minister.
Where are you seeing Kanye's votes?
I
you seeing
just straight up looked it up. Straight up looked it up. Kanye votes 2020, and they only show Vermont for some reason. Whenever you look up Kanye votes, they only show Vermont, and Kanye got 1,227 votes in Vermont. That's pretty good. I would say that's pretty good.
Oh no,
Yeah.
you can change it from Vermont to show all states. Oh, all states it doesn't show. I don't think he got enough
In other states to
votes
count.
to count.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
So what do you reckon,
must be
guys? Should we reconvene in a few hours once it's a little bit clearer and we
I think that would make sense.
one? Yeah.
Yeah, रात को करते हैं.
Okay.
ठीक है.
So guys, thank you very much for watching. Well, unfortunately, we couldn't have a result just yet, but hopefully in the next few hours things will be clearer and we'll all be able to see Abhijit's Nagin dance in all its glory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So let's pray for that. If
right,
there's
done.
one thing to pray for. All right, guys.
See you
Catch
guys.
you on the
Ciao.
Pop. Thank you very much for sticking around with us, but we'll catch you in a few